All right, guys. So it's doing it again. I don't know why. See, there it doesn't do it. Then you guys can't. All right. It's messing around. I got to mess with the camera settings here, guys. Welcome back. Today, guys, we're doing another live stream. I tried scheduling this one for a change. I haven't done this very often where I've actually scheduled them. They're typically very random and just whenever. So hopefully my lighting stays how it is. If we need to mess with it, we will. All right, guys. So those of you that have been here before, you know how it is. We just kind of go through. You guys dictate how short or long these are. And in the comment section, we got 4 people in here. So we're already at 5. It's nice to see an immediate response after starting these. We're only not even a minute in. So welcome, guys, as everyone's coming in. Always exciting to do these live streams. Those of you that are in here, who's all in here on the live stream with me? Sorry, my phone distracted me there. There's the... this is very frustrating with the color stuff here, guys. We're going to get that sorted out a little bit. So, guys, who is in here on the live stream? Welcome. No comments yet. We normally get some comments. Ben, how you doing, man? Welcome to the live stream. Ben, have you ever been on one of these live streams with me before? Anybody else? We're going to kind of kick it off here soon. And we'll kind of really get into this. Typically, like I said, you guys dictate a lot of this. We're going to start talking about, well, Ben, welcome for the first time. Everybody that is normally in here, please welcome Ben. Always, Ben, it's a good time as people kind of liven up, start talking in the chat. Jeremy, what's up, man? How you doing? I definitely recognize your name. I've seen you a few times in here. Jay, how you doing? Jay, welcome back, man. Good to have you. Let's see here. So today's big topic of conversation, that being said, you guys all know how it is. As we get going, we spiral and we talk about a little bit of everything. One thing, guys, let's try to at least shy away from politics for this one. I do not want a video demonetized. And definitely YouTube is a little sensitive about the political conversation. So problems and upgrades, guys. This the idea for this kind of came from thinking about my white truck and what I'm currently going through. And as I'm kind of trying to plan the build, James, welcome back, man. As I'm trying to plan the build for the white truck and what I want to do and how we're going to go about that. The fuel filters for your 6.7, right, Jeremy? If I remember correctly, I kind of remember talking to you in one of the chats. I can't remember. I don't think it was a live stream. I think on the video we may have talked in the comment section about me messing up. I seriously had like a gallon of fuel, and I just remember thinking, man, this thing's draining a lot of diesel fuel for such a tiny little bowl. And then finally I started thinking I'm doing something wrong. So like I said, at least I made the mistake so you guys don't have to. Also, guys, big announcement. All of the 6-liter, I don't know why it's doing that. Adjust my light here. I need to like put something like right here over my camera to stop it. All right, hold on, guys. I'm just walking over here to turn the lights on. Don't leave me. All right, sorry about that. There we go. Hopefully that's not too bad there. So, lighting problem, at least semi-situated here. Don't trip, it's cool. So, as I was saying with my white truck here, as I kind of go through and think about the progression, I think I finally have really made a decision on what I'm going to do with the white truck and kind of the route I want to take. That is kind of a balance between giving you guys value and what I want in the build and still being able to safely drag race it and do some towing reviews and do practical stuff that you guys can still benefit from. The vast majority of you guys aren't necessarily building drag trucks or dyno trucks or a lot of you guys aren't super into that. Some of you think it's cool, but so I think I'm going to talk a little bit about the build and what I'm really thinking for that on this live stream as we get some time in between the questions in the comment section, which let me just make sure we're all good here. Just roll with it. I really hate this light above my head, but I like when it's off. But oh well, at least you guys can see me. I'm not orange. I don't look like the president, so I'm pretty thrilled about that. What's up? We talked on the 6.0 Powerstroke forum the other week. Colin Lynch. Colin, what was I talking about? I kind of remember your name. I just can't think. I try to be really active on the forums and stuff. So I do try to remember you guys as much as possible, but I can't always remember the advice I'm giving. A lot of times I do a lot of turbo stuff. Best year trucks is a pretty common one that I tend to chime in on. And hunting down performance issues is another one I've seen a lot of performance questions lately. And again, that's another reason for this video. Some questions you don't really get. One of those big ones that I've been seeing lately a lot is that people swapped out a turbo. So they put a turbo in, and VGTs are really finicky turbos. And if you have sensors not working, so it got misdiagnosed as a performance turbo issue, and it turns out to be your exhaust back pressure sensor, or the tube to your mass air pressure sensor is broken. So I've seen a lot of that lately on forums. So I wanted to kind of dive into why specifically with VGT turbos people are having these performance issues, and kind of what goes into making a VGT work was kind of part of it, and helping people be able to diagnose turbo issues and not have to replace a turbo. So let's see here. I put a post up with KC stage 1 verse 1. Oh yeah. I do recommend Turbo Time USA, and I try to be very transparent about Sinister. Ben, are you talking about the Sinister Stage 2 Turbo? Oops, 6.0 in a Mustang. So I do. I will get back to the 6.0 question. I've seen some diesel conversions kind of being talked about lately, and some car stuff. So yeah, no, KC Turbo makes a killer product. Do not get me wrong, man, and you will be well served by it. But I do always try to, I talk about my sponsor. I'm very transparent about my sponsor and affiliate links, and I do have a level of reimbursement at this point. You guys benefit in the form of a discount code, so I love that. But KC Turbo, killer product. You're gonna love them. Titan Turbo Services also makes a good product. I don't know that my turbo sponsors never said anything about me talking about other companies the way I do, but the goal is to be as transparent to you guys, and I don't think you're getting value if I'm just only talking about my company, or not my company, the company that sponsors me, as if there's no other good companies out there. So that's why I do that. But it also does make me feel good chiming in on those, because I do say, hey, that's a great product. I'm not too proud to act like other companies don't. And that'll take me to Sinister Diesel. No, I do not recommend their turbos. I personally think they are the chime of my dryer. So I personally think their turbos are overpriced. They don't give you a lot of specs on them. At times, they're telling people that they're sending out billet wheels, and they're not. I've seen that quite frequently, although I did notice they took the billet wheel description in their turbos off lately. So, but no, in general, I do not recommend Sinister Diesel turbos. Ben, Ben, is it on your truck? Has it actually come to you yet? Because essentially, all I've actually seen out of Sinister Diesel turbos is essentially a Power Max with blue coloring, to which you can get that color done yourself for like $50, $75 tops. Ben, here's the good news. It's a Power Max turbo. It's a good turbo. Unfortunately, you did overpay for it. I can't save you there. Essentially, you have a Power Max turbo. Power Max turbos are good turbos. There's much better turbos out there, don't get me wrong, but it's not like you have a junk product on there. I just think there's no value for it. For instance, KC turbo cells, Power Max is typically for 1150. Titan, or I don't know what Titan Turbo Services sells them for, but I imagine they're similar. And Turbo Time USA, I think it's about 1250 for them. And then custom turbos start in the $1,400 range and go up to like 18-ish for 6 liters. So, but you have a good turbo. It's reliable. I ran a Power Max for a long time, man, and really liked it. And actually, my best track times are with the Power Max on it. Now, I haven't run with my new turbo, so I'm hoping to change that when the truck's back. But you're good there, man. Let me first off, guys. We got 11 people here, and I only have 5 likes. Can we fix that? Can we get a few more likes in here while I get caught up in the comment section? The 6.0 in a Mustang, I haven't seen it. I've had a few people reference it to me. I think that's pretty cool. I'm all about people putting diesel. I always thought it'd be cool to see what like a 500 horsepower 6 liter, which making roughly 1,000 pound-feet of torque would do in a Mustang. Down the track, I think that's cool. So rock on. I hope he finishes that build all the way. That's what I'm talking about. The likes, guys. I love it. Thank you. Let's see here. Doing an oil cooler pretty soon. Any good recommendations for a heavy duty one? So Giovanni, with oil coolers, this is tends to be a pretty controversial topic, talked about very frequently. I only recommend the Ford oil coolers. I've seen the other oil coolers. Typically, the heavy duty ones, what happens with the heavy duty oil coolers is that they tend to sacrifice performance. You lose some cooling. So what happens is the individual chambers inside, what makes them heavy duty, is actually that they open up your coolant passageways. What this does is this makes the coolant flow through there quicker, one, and there's less heat exchange. So your oil temperature, the delta, typically 15 and less is considered okay. At 15, typically you need to start looking at preparing for something. If you're over 15, then yeah, you need a new oil cooler. But you lose some of that performance. That kind of flies out the window. I personally have had excellent luck with factory oil coolers. The exception to this would be maybe one of the kits that I think it's IPR, and I've never installed an IPR part, IPR Research. I've never installed one of their products, so I don't know if what the quality is. But I've seen back and forth information on that. They do have a remote oil cooler kit that would allow you to run a 6.7 oil cooler. I don't know that if a 6.7 oil cooler is superior to a 6 liter one or not, but that would be one. That would be probably the only time I don't recommend consider not running a 6 liter oil cooler. Just go with your oil cooler. I have a video, or go with a factory oil cooler. Make sure you're buying from a reputable shop. So your Ford dealer, Extreme Diesel Performance. And if you do that route, make sure to use Diesel 10. They have a coupon code. I have no affiliation with them, but definitely save you a couple bucks there. And my Ford dealer actually would match their price. So I bought that through my Ford dealership that's local to me. Let's see here. Any advice on front end suspension upgrades for a rear wheel drive? It's a little bouncy. So Steve and Rula, we're just going to go calling you Steve here. What shocks are you running on your truck right now? That would be my first recommendation. I assume you're in a factory suspension. If I remember right, they're leaf spring suspensions. So I think I saw Icon now sells leaf spring kits for the leaf spring front ends. So I'd probably look at one of them, but I'm doing a video that'll be out soon on Bilstein shocks. I have Bilstein shocks I installed on the 2015. Little different suspension setup, but that's one of the things we're going to talk about is the bounce. I would definitely go. I've had good luck with rough country as well. My white truck, which is a 04, it's a 4x4, so it's a little different. But the rough country shocks are actually a pretty good value for what you get, and that's kind of part of what I'm going to compare in that video is the value equation between rough country shocks, which I've run a fair amount of. Josh runs a lot of them, and Bilstein shocks, and are they actually worth the extra money? Sorry, need a drink. Did a lot of talking in a little bit. All right. So let's see here. Steve, follow up. What's your current suspension setup? Shocks, leaf springs, any lift, what's your wheel and tire combo? Anything like that? And have you checked your suspension for any faulty parts? Let's see here. 04. TJ, so before I can, first off, thanks for actually caring about my opinion on if you should or should not sell your truck. So you don't tow. Dude, the 6 liter is a fun truck. It really is. One thing I'd have to ask is, you say here it's had everything done to it. Is it nickeling and diming you, or is it pretty reliable? Some trucks get to that point where they need a lot of work done to them to keep them on the road. But I'm trying to think here. If it's been reliable, it's not costing you excess money. The other thing is, I just like a truck. I'm never not going to own a pickup. Currently, I'm the foolish owner of 2 F-250s, even though one sits in a parking lot right now waiting for some upgrades. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, that's really what it comes down to is, if it's killing you and you just, the average person needs an F-150. Truthfully, like the average guy only needs an F-150. I like diesel, so I will always probably own a diesel. I don't see me not owning a 250 anytime soon, unless I were to go to 350s. Then, But anyway, I'm going to own a 3/4 ton pickup. So for me, it's what I like. I'm going to rock that regardless. I wouldn't go, depending on how new you went, the only engine, if I were to ever say I was done dealing with the maintenance of a diesel truck, the only gas engine that actually interests me in any way, shape, or form is the 7.3 Godzilla engine in the brand new trucks. I think that's pretty awesome. And it's apparently really, really underrated in power to be able to actually take the abuse that people want to throw at it. It's still not a diesel, but it seems to be pretty impressive. So something to consider there. Ben, Ben, I get it. That's frustrating, but trust me, you're going to be okay. You're going to love that turbo. It's going to, like I said, it's a Power Max. They're good turbos. It's just you didn't get anything really other than some blue coloring for the extra money spent. And I have not, I've seen people buy them with them advertising billet wheels. I would go check. That's one thing. I would go check to see what the ad said. And if that's not a billet wheel in there, I would be calling them up. I'd be furious. I had a subscriber actually have that issue. They bought a Sinister Diesel Turbo through one of their vendors, and it claimed the billet wheel. It wasn't the billet wheel, and they were fighting that tooth and nail. But, a Power Max is a good turbo, man. Don't beat yourself up too bad, but that is part of why I started the channel, so we can get information like that out there so nobody has to deal with that. Let's see here. Literally everything's been done to the trucks and everybody's block. Thanks. Stock ones. Yeah, Giovanni, you need an oil cooler bad, man. Man, 30 degrees apart. That's a big delta. So I would definitely just get a factory one. I do a video talking about replacing the oil cooler and what I do. I try to kind of tell the differences between what a factory setup is and what's on my truck, because they are pretty significantly different. So check that video out. I hope it helps. Sniping 51, the air to oil cooler. So the air to oil, I am not I'm not a big fan of. I live in Pennsylvania, and it gets freaking cold here in the winter. I mean, really cold here in the winter. We don't have crazy winters all the time, but it does get pretty down there. And a lot of guys are having issues. I have heard guys, even with the winter prep kit, have issues with it getting up to temp. So I don't want to deal with that. The other thing is, it's a cool kit. It is a cool kit. It's amazing what Bulletproof Diesel has done. I'm not trying to talk bad about Bulletproof Diesel because they make nice stuff. I just disagree with it, if that makes any sense. It's a good kit. You won't have to worry about having any oil cooler replacements anymore. But something about it, man, I'm just not a huge fan of. I've not had issues with the factory oil cooler. It works well. Yes, Ford put it in a stupid place in the center of the valley was not their smartest decision. But, I just don't think it's worth the extra money spent for it either. I think it's super expensive. I don't know, I mean, it's all high quality parts. Like Bulletproof Diesel does not send low quality parts that I've seen. They send nice stuff in my experience, but I still think that the air to oil cooler is just, it's expensive. It's too expensive for me. I'd rather buy a $375 or whatever it is, $275. I forget how much an oil cooler is for a 6-liter. And it takes me about 2 hours to get down to the oil cooler before I'm cleaning everything out and reassembling it. And those of you guys that have watched some of my videos know I'm really picky about cleaning everything up as I toss it back in there. So Steve, Rancho 500 in the front. Oh, coil springs. So I would say for coil springs, I didn't realize that the two-wheel drive ones were coil spring up front. I wonder why they were all the Excursions coil springs, and I just don't know this, or were they just like an 05 thing? Let's see here. In that Rancho, I am not a big Rancho fan, so if those shocks are and even a little old, I would probably replace them, at least with Rough Country. I think their gas shocks are better. Little sneak peek at the Bilstein versus Rough Country video, and I do think the Bilsteins are slightly better. I'm really enjoying them right now. They're not too harsh, and they seem to tame the ride and bumps really, really well, again, without jarring me. That being said, about $100 cheaper, $120-ish cheaper, actually, depending on where you get them. The Rough Country is an excellent shock for the money, man. I really like my Rough Country, too. I have no issue putting them on there. Too bouncy around our area. PA roads are another story. Ain't that the truth, man? Colin, where are you at in PA? Ben, I hear you on dropping money on the truck. I'm all for it. I wouldn't get rid of your turbo. I'd keep running it, man. No reason to waste more money getting a turbo. Do I think you could have had a much better turbo for probably what you spent on that? Yes. But hey, live and learn, man. Move on. If you were, you might be able to sell it for a decent price, if you wanted to spend a little more, but that'd be the only way I'd consider that. I sold my Power Max for about $700. It had like 6 months use on it before I swapped it out to the turbo time. So for whatever that's worth. TJ, man, if you like it and it's not nickel and diming you, man, I'd probably keep it. And like I said, unless you wanted to go down to a 150 or something, or if you're done with truck, I'd honestly keep the 250. Oh, I lost my. Oh, there we are. All right, sorry guys, I'm falling a little behind here in the comments. I'm gonna try to get caught up. Stop sometimes. Stalls usually fires back up easy. Ryan, so Ryan, your 04 350 with an 03 style engine. Check your ICP sensor. I'd probably unplug it. It sits under your turbo. If you look, I have an ICP sensor video on how to replace it. But while diagnosing it, if you pop the plug off of it, the 6-liter engine goes to an inferred ICP value. And if the sensor itself is bad, but nothing else is bad, it should fire back up. That'd probably be the first place I would start, because the 03 engine on a 6-liter is very known for that ICP sensor dropping out. Also inspect the pigtail. You might need to replace it. Might be oil soaked and need replaced. So that's where I would start. What turbo would you recommend, a Power Max or a KC? I'm running stock injectors. So Ryan, so my turbo spiel, sorry, Colin, you have to hear this again. My turbo spiel is first and foremost, KC Turbo makes killer stuff. The stage 1 is kind of a hard turbo to compare to a Power Max because they're pretty different. The stage 1 is smaller on the compressor side. It's going to flow a lot of air. It's going to have really quick spool up. I believe it's also a 13-blade turbine wheel compared to the Power Max turbo. So you have a lot of differences there in sizing. The 13 blade turbine on the KC stage 1 is going to spool up much quicker. So out of the hole, it's going to feel great. But the PowerMax is going to really take over up top, is where that 10 blade turbine wheel and the larger 63.5 compressor wheel out of the PowerMax is going to kind of shine a little more. So really on stock injectors, I would be looking at the KC stage 1. Excuse me. My sponsor, I'm messing up my words. Turbo Time USA, I would hit them up. They're in the description. There's actually a coupon code for them and an affiliate link for me. I would look at their stage 1 if you're trying to stay small. I'd be really looking at a stage 1 or stage 2. So Turbo Time USA, we'll talk first, then we'll talk about KC and the two turbos I would look at from them. So Turbo Time USA has a stage 1. It's a 61 millimeter compressor wheel with a 10 blade turbine wheel. So I would take a look at that. That's going to give you a nice mix of down low spool up and also give you nice high top end performance, though you are limited. It's a 61 millimeter wheel, which is, depending on your year, 2 to 4 millimeters larger than the factory compressor wheel. So it is an upgrade. Definitely made primarily for stock injectors. One of my favorite turbo sizes to run for any truck is a 64 millimeter turbo. So Turbo Time USA has their stage 2. I have a video on this. And that's, again, 10 blade turbine wheel with 64 millimeter compressor wheel. It'll give you room to grow if you ever wanted to go with a larger injector. Up to like a 205/30 it'll handle. Or if you want to stay stock, it'll run really well down there too. For KC Turbo, they have the stage 1, which I already talked about. I would skip over their stage 1.5. Just personally, I just don't really care for that turbo. It's a great turbo from them. You'll have great reliability and everything. I just think it's kind of a silly option with the 13 blade turbine wheel. Some guys really love it though. Bear that in mind. But I'd look at their stage 2, which is 64.7 millimeter compressor wheel with a 10 blade turbine wheel. And that's kind of where I would be. KC Turbo, no affiliation. Turbo Time USA, sponsored, so please keep that in mind. But the link down there can get you 5% off one of your turbos through Turbo Time USA. So check them out. But full disclosure, each company is excellent. You'll love either one, man. The PowerMax Turbo, I would probably run one of their stage 2 turbos over the PowerMax personally. PowerMax is a great turbo, don't get me wrong. But again, I'd be looking at maybe that download performance of the 61 would probably be a little more fun to drive. And here's my dog. I was wondering when she was going to get in on this live stream. Right, Izzy? Quick little. She's a little camera shy tonight. But let's see here. Oh, my sister popped in for a comment. Jordan. She's kind of goofy. She's my sister. Here's Jordan's shout out. She's probably going to yell at me later for that, actually. I'm probably going to get hit for calling her goofy, but I harass her all the time for not supporting me enough in this endeavor on YouTube. Ben, thanks, man. I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed so far. Live streams are a lot of fun. Hey, I've been harassing people about this. We have 23 people in here and only 16 likes. We need to fix that, guys. Give me some likes here. Actually, I'm kind of surprised. Some of the normal guys that come in here and give me a hard time, and I mean, say give me a hard time, really just enjoy coming to these live streams. They're fun. Aren't in here. I wonder if they're going to pop up. I tried to let there be a notification for this live stream so you guys kind of knew when to anticipate it, so more people could hopefully come in and hang out and have a good time. And one of the cool things that happens is as everybody kind of gets more comfortable, you guys start helping each other in the comment section before I get to them. I'm reading the problem or question you have, and someone else has already answered it. So I do love that this environment does that. Colin, okay, Gap. Let's hear. I'm in E-Town, so I'm not too terribly far from you, man. Yep, no problem, Ben. Bob, let's see here. 04 and 06. um, Bob, the best way to get a hold of me outside these live streams is probably Instagram. We can talk there. I will say I am busy, so I can't always get back to people. I try very hard to, but if I have time, I'll happily help. Bob, though, if you can type some of them up, like what your no start issues or something like that, you'd be surprised at how much we can help solve here and maybe get you some answers sooner than I'd be able to on Instagram. But Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me. I will type my Instagram name down here because it is just slightly different than the channel name. That H is in there. Otherwise, it's the same thing. Hey, brother, also stock 06. A stock 06 with 306,000 miles. Wow. Please, someone tell me again how terrible the 6-liter engine is, right? You're looking at turbo back exhaust. We have two different exhausts that have been run on the channel on 6 liters. I have a MagnaFlow stainless steel exhaust. I love it. I really recommend it. And there's actually an exhaust video that has some of that stuff in there. I don't know if we come up when you type in 6-liter exhaust, to be perfectly honest. Let's find out. I'll quick look it up now. See if that's what you can search to find us. Oh, Powerstroke. Exhaust. Oh, yeah. So video number 4, if you put in 6.0 Powerstroke exhaust, we are video number 4. And that compares, we put a diamond eye, which is more of a budget kit, on Josh's truck. And there's links in the description to affiliate links for the exact exhaust that we used on his truck. And I think it sounds fantastic. I like a 4-inch exhaust personally. And we actually have several. We get a lot of heat for that video because people don't like that Josh really was all but bouncing his truck off the rev limiter. He really got in it. He made a great video for you guys. But we took sound clips from various points of us cutting the factory exhaust off and then reinstalling the diamond eye kit. And I think you'll really like that, and I hope that'll help answer. I like 4-inch exhaust because I like that you get a little more of that whistle from the turbo. The 5-inch exhaust gives you more of that throaty, V8 gas rumble. It still sounds like a diesel, don't get me wrong, but that's kind of the difference between those two things here. Colin, so the sponsorship, I don't know what the requirements for other people are. I reached out to them. Gosh, I don't even know how long it's been now. Well over a year, a year and a half maybe. And I reached out to them, said I was interested in their turbos. I told them what I do here, and we started talking, and they were interested in the channel, and we've been working together ever since. I really like them in the sense of they don't give me a hard time because I am pretty verbal about there being other great turbo companies out there. But if any of you guys see me on any of the Facebook pages and stuff, you'll see me recommend 3 companies specifically. My sponsor, and I'm always transparent about that, Titan Turbo Services and KC Turbo. So they've never given me a hard time about being so verbal about kind of almost recommending other companies. So I hate spam so much, and my phone gets so much spam. Let me get back here in the comment section. Guys, this is a first. We have 19 people, and we actually have more likes than people. That's a first. That doesn't happen often. Let's see here. So you're getting 190 injectors. Corman, quick question for you. Did you already get the injectors? What is your turbo setup? Any transmission mods? Any fuel system mods? Would be my follow-up questions before I can kind of help steer you in the right direction with them. And please make sure to include if you already ordered the injectors or not. Eric bought a 6.0 cheap. Eric, I just did a video recently on this, on the first things to do to your 6.0 Powerstroke. And I would say the first thing to do is get some kind of monitoring device. That video talks about specifics and has links to Edge, CTS, stuff like that. Also, a Bluetooth adapters on there if you wanted to use like Torque Pro. And if you use Torque Pro, I recommend there's a single glow shift gauge. I've had good luck with glow shift gauges in the past. I am trying to, I have upgraded past them. I typically run Edge monitoring systems because I think they're probably one of the best on the market. I would like to eventually try Banks. I just haven't gotten around to it. I do like how clean the Banks is. You just pop it in a little pod there. Numbers are also kind of small, but you'll honestly know what you're looking at, so it's not bad. But maybe one day I can try that. But currently, my top recommendation is Edge CTS for that. SCT is the way to go for tuners. I don't care for their monitoring solutions all that much. I think it's exhaust back pressure that they read incorrectly, so I tend to go to other products for that. But Eric, that'd be the first thing I would do. And that video will steer you in the right direction with links to products as well. Being able to read your fuel pressure, making sure it's staying above 45 PSI. If not, do a blue spring mod. If the blue spring mod doesn't help, then you want to go to your fuel pump because that's probably dying. If you can't maintain 45 PSI at wide open throttle, you need to read your fuel pressure while driving and doing a full throttle pull. I try to at least do like an 1/8 mile, if not a 1/4 mile pull. Which in these trucks, you're getting up there pretty quick. Don't get me wrong. So make sure you're being safe. But you want to make sure that it can hold fuel for that duration. Thoughts on improving mileage? So TJ, I would first say hand calculate it. Get your revs per mile and actually hand calculate your miles. Basically, you divide the factory miles or revolutions per mile for the factory tire size. Then you turn around and you compare it to your new one. The difference of that, you multiply your miles on your speedometer or odometer, excuse me. That gives you how many actual miles, and then you figure out with how many gallons of fuel you put in. That would be step number one. To see what you're getting. I would guess you're probably closer to like 11, 12-ish. 7 to 9 seems kind of low. From there, on 37s, man, I think you would really benefit from a re-gear to like maybe a 430. That would, or something in that area, at least I'd go 430 on 37s. Especially if you're going to stay there. If you had plans to maybe come down to 35s, then I'd say 410s, but 430s should give you a little bit of mileage back, should help a bit. So when you're talking big tires, factory gears, or even big tires and swapped out gears to give you some efficiency back, one thing people need to consider is I think increasing airflow and not necessarily increasing strain on the engine at the same time is super important to getting better fuel economy. I should just wait for like the views to drop. People hate when people talk fuel economy in these trucks. I think it's a cool thing. I think it's something cool to have a 500-600 horsepower truck and get 17, 18 miles per gallon cruising around town. That's just me. But, so things you could look at, aftermarket intercooler pipes would give you a very slight increase. MBRP has nice stuff. No Limit Fab are the two companies there I always recommend. A better intercooler and ODOG intake manifold, the BD exhaust manifolds. It's a cumulative effect. I feel you can improve mileage that way. Dumb pop-ups on here. But so all those things can help increase the efficiency of airflow, meaning it's an easier path for it to take, so there's less turbulence in it. The intercooler can get it denser by cooling it more efficiently and not increasing strain on it. So if you were to put a bigger turbo on, it'll push more air, but it'll increase strain on your overall setup while you're already running a big turbo. And what I assume would be factory gears, that's really going to kind of be hard on your system and probably decrease your fuel economy as opposed to increase it. Again, though, I mean, those are very minimal things that can add up to better fuel economy. You know, you might, I don't know that you'll see a huge benefit. Gears would probably be the biggest benefit to you. Tie City, an underboost condition. So underboost can be caused by a few things. The first and easiest thing I would check is I would check all your sensor pigtails, specifically your exhaust back pressure sensor. And for underboost condition, I would also give a good look at the tube that goes off your passenger side intake manifold to your mass air pressure sensor that sits on top of part of your AC system on the passenger side. Sometimes that tube cracks and will give you a low boost condition when actually the system's working correctly, but it's that tube's broken, so it's reading like it's not making the boost that it should be for the other parameters the engine's seeing. From there, if that all checks out good, I would probably consider replacing my exhaust back pressure sensor, or at least inspecting it to make sure that it's doing right ohm it out. I don't know what it's supposed to ohm at, but I would look into that route at that point. 04, get up and go once in second gear, automatic. So, Bob, let's talk about this. So it's bogging down in first gear, gets up and goes in second. Do you have any way to read anything like parameters as far as boost or something like that? Because that would probably be, have you replaced the turbo recently or anything like that? That would kind of be the area I'd be looking at. Has work been done recently that is suffering down low? Damon, no, I did not need to replace the head. Now, I will say this, one of the head studs had to come out to replace it. So Greg at DNA, I talked to him and he said that this, you know, this is how he does it. There is no other way. If you have a rocker arm that breaks, you need to pull the head stud out to do it. So that's just kind of what you're stuck with. But he put it back in. There weren't any more issues with it. I say that until I lost compression on, that's on the driver's side though. So the rocker arm broke on the passenger side. I lost compression on the driver's side. So I'm going to say they're not related, but the head stud did have to come out, get reinstalled, seemed to be fine afterwards. Colin, thanks for coming. I don't think you're still in here because I'm a little behind in the comment section, but thanks, man. Have a good one, brother. Guys, I'm going to keep saying it. We're 25 viewers, only 21 likes. We need to fix that. So those of you in here that haven't hit it, hit that like button, please. Let's keep work on getting caught up in these comment sections. I love when you guys make me work for it, though. This is what makes this fun to do, is when you guys are really keeping the questions coming. I actually would rather be behind in the comment section than ahead. I do have some stuff to talk about in case you guys slow down, need some time to think. I have some stuff to talk about the white truck specifically. Let's see here. Jay, thank you for tuner advice. Hey, no problem, man. Happy to help. Glad that advice helped you. So you're welcome. You got the BDX with quick tricks, free lifetime tunes. Can't beat that. Oh yeah, if you go from a factory 6-liter to a tune truck, it's an entirely different animal. Seriously, if someone put you in one truck and then put you in another one and disguised the second one, you would think it's a completely different truck. So Greg, you rebuilt the entire top, all Ford parts. ICP still saying low. IPR reading 32.9. Any ideas? So Greg, what is your? Think here for just a second. So if I need to know, did you replace your ICP sensor? Did you replace your high pressure oil pump? IPR reading at 32.9. Is that at idle, or where is the 32.9 coming in? Because if it's at idle, it's high, which would be indicative of maybe a sticking. And have you replaced the IPR? And then when I read that next comment about those questions, we can go further. Your O5 sounds like it's cammed. Any ideas what it is? My best one thing I'll say is in diesels, you don't actually hear when you put a different cam in. If you really are in tune to listening to the engine, you can hear the difference in valves, the longer duration, but you can't. It's not like a gas engine. My guess is at idle. That whatever tune you have on is a open vein tune, which will give you that kind of rumble sound. That was a terrible V8 engine, I know. Please don't make fun of me. But I would try a different tune. You can check to see what your VGT duty cycle is doing at idle. If I had to guess, it's probably like 25% or lower, in the 15 to maybe 30%, which is really open for these turbos. And that'll give you that kind of gas V8 rumble. Let's see here. Oh, Justin, I didn't even think. I'm not sure if how an ICP sensor would do it, but I mean, it's worth a shot. It's an easy enough fix. Obviously, like diesels, I'm a little bit of a fan of diesels. Man, Eric, that's amazing. So do you drive like cross country with a 2016 with that kind of mile count? Like, how many miles do you drive a month, man? That's a lot. Let's see. Did an EGR swap 4 months ago. I'm going to assume the PIR is. Yep. Never mind. See that correction. I do have a launch. Bob, let me quick see. I kind of. Okay, so your IPR is new. I would need readings of it. Something like so like when you turn your truck on, your IPR at warm idle, meaning it's up to operating temp, should be like 24-ish in there. With there's a variance, but around there. And you should be seeing like 600-ish for your high pressure oil pump, your ICP, your high pressure oil pump pressure. If you're boggy down low, I would be looking. That's a hard one. It's a hard one without being there to kind of diagnose it. But does your 6-liter kind of, at least in second, third, through the rest of the gears, kind of seem normal? Is it just when it's cold? Is it when it's warm? It could be injectors. It could be it could be a lot of different things. I would be looking at. I'd be taking a good look at your FICM voltage main, ICP, and high pressure oil pump pressure. I'd compare them, make sure it's able to hold pressure with your ICP. Trying to think what else. I'd check your fuel pressure. Definitely would check your fuel pressure, and then kind of go from there. You have an 06. Fair amount of miles. Had it removed factory head bolts. I want to have it tuned. Yes or no? So Kirk, here's the big thing with tuning. And I have a tuning video if you have more questions that goes really pretty in depth in a lot of this. Anytime you have factory head bolts and you tune it, you increase your chance of blowing head gaskets. I'm not saying you're going to blow them, but it is there. I ran my 6-liter, so I bought my 04 8 years old with like 73,000 miles on it. At like before 80,000 miles, I had tuned it with can tunes from SCT. I did primarily run toe tunes, but I did also occasionally run the performance tune. And I never had issues. Even towards the end, before the build started, I was running 100 horsepower power hungry performance tune, and had no issues. It ran great, but I cracked a cylinder head, and I don't attribute that to the tunes at all because the 6-liter is kind of known for cracking cylinder heads. So yeah, you can tune it. I would be very conservative on it, and I would definitely be planning to set aside money for head gaskets going because there's a lot of guys they go. There's guys that go. There's someone in here. I don't know if they're still in here. That's like 305, I think, 1,000 miles all factory. So you might be one of the guys that's lucky and doesn't have issues. Oh, 1 second, Greg. I got to quick scroll up and see what we were talking about. Okay. New IPR, new turbo, new map. Is new BPS your exhaust back pressure sensor? I didn't see. Let's see what you say down here, Greg. Also, when warm and drive, it seems like it's not getting fuel, but new pump, new housing, blue spring. So, Greg, the biggest thing would be to I would check your fuel pressure. Your ICP, I'm going to say for your ICP, I would be looking at either the sensor itself and maybe even considering, the sensor could be giving the IPR a weird value. So you didn't say if that was at idle. I'm going to assume that IPR value is at idle because it's a little low if you're out cruising around. So I would look into your ICP sensor and consider maybe doing maybe your high pressure oil pump could be failing. I'm not saying it is, it just could be. Did you give me the year truck? Greg, what year truck is yours? I think you did tell me. I just kind of forget it. Jeremy, no, the 6.7 unfortunately really likes to regen. I hate it. I really hate regens so much. Now, I will say it's gotten better. When I first bought the truck, it was regenning every 150 miles. It was freaking awful. It is doing better, and I'd say I'm probably at about every 400 miles. It's regenning if I'm on a long trip, but all in all, no, I haven't had that issue. I will say if I'm reading the percentage value through the edge, that thing's not even close. It'll hit 100% and still go. What I did find is there's a measurement for how full it is. There's one you can read there, and that seems to consistently between like 3.4 and 3.6 kick me into a regen. Where was I here? Man, Eric, that's a lot of that's a lot of miles, brother. Bob, no problem, man. Hope it helps. Sniping, I love it. 03 rebuild the top end. Idles rough for a few seconds, runs a little rough until it gets up to temp, then runs great. What do you think? Donald, I'm going to say you have injectors on the way out. I don't know if they did injectors, but typically with the Huey injection system, when they're going bad, they can run rough while while they're cold, and then they warm up. It's stiction in the spool valves typically. So I would go with you could try arch oil. I've had excellent luck with arch oil helping fix some stiction issues. And then after that, if that doesn't help, you could go with you'd probably need to just get new injectors. I've run Warren Diesel Premiums, and I like them. I've had good customer service from them. That'd be the route I would go. Greg, I would try Pablo's advice and see. I mean, I don't think that's it. I'm not quite sure, but hey, anything could happen, and that's an easy enough fix. It's worth a shot. So give that a whirl. Cleaning the tube to your exhaust back pressure sensor. Greg, which high pressure oil pump is Ford, but pressure is reading good? Greg, I'm going to need you to explain that out a little more so I can continue to help, man. Getting code for clogged filter while towing. Jeremy, does it do? Jeremy, have you tried forcing it into a manual regen? I know my Edge CTS 2 will let me force it into a manual regen. I've never done it. I've actually thought about doing it, but I think it's like a 45-minute ordeal, and it revs the crap out of your truck. The biggest issue I have with my 6.7, besides the fact that the previous owners didn't take care of it and I've had to fix all their crap, and that a dealership lied to me. That was fun. So the biggest issue outside of that has been more my def reading. That hasn't really been reading good. I had a pretty full def tank. This probably 3-4 weeks ago. And I just put some in not that long ago. I didn't even get a full container in it. And it was reading that I had less than less than 400 miles until it was going to be empty. So, yeah, I would look in. That's been my biggest issue. Not have had the time to use the Edge regen. That's the last resort. That's okay. My def tank isn't long for this world, if you know what I mean. Which before I mess with any of that stuff, I really want to get some tuning reviews out, and I want to do some emissions compliant, 100% emissions compliant, no shady business information out there, and then I'm probably going to convert my def tank to a water meth injection, and we don't need to worry about how def's getting in the system from there. But that's the goal. Oops, sorry, got you guys in the light there. That's the goal there. Real quick, guys, for those of you that don't know, T-shirts, Amazon link down below. Check them out. Got to plug that. I need some shirt sales. Apparently, people didn't like that. 2 people left at that. Let's see here. Let's get back in the comments here. I'm about to be buying a new oil cooler. The best oil cooler brand to go with, XDP. Gage, I would definitely go with... I would go with factory Ford, man, on the oil coolers. It's just not worth the hassle. The heavy duty ones actually tend to cool less efficiently. This is actually a common question. I should probably just do a whole video on this soon because I get this question a lot. But so the factory oil cooler works well. There was a revision from the earliest oil coolers that added an extra row to them. OJ, thank you. I will fix that in that video, brother. I should probably write this stuff down. So on the factory one, they add that extra row. Yeah, there's issues. It's not the oil cooler. It tends to be the system. Clean the system out. I would do a chemical flush really well. Then make sure you clean all that out. And then I would tear down, make sure to completely empty every coolant passage in that truck, meaning you need to pull the plugs. There's 2 drain plugs on the block. And then I'd fill up with cat coolant and go from there, man. The XDP ones and stuff, some of them, there's just mixed reviews, and it's too annoying of a job to do to have to go in within the same year and go back down and mess with it. And with Ford stuff, you get a good warranty. You know, that's the biggest thing. You get a good warranty with Ford stuff. If your Ford dealer recognizes you, then I'm going to harass you. I bought XDP, and actually they were really cool. I had an issue with the oil cooler. They sent me a new one out. They got the new one out to me right away, and then they credited my account as soon as they got the shipping information for the previous one I had. They, like I said, they were super cool. They took care of me. So I would still buy from Extreme Diesel, but go Ford, and you'll have less issues that way, in my opinion. Kirkman, thanks, brother. Appreciate it. I haven't. Oh, Jeremy, thanks, man. I hope you guys do like the shirts, and we have more stuff coming in the merch department. We're definitely, I'm looking at hoodie. The logo for the background of this, or for the thumbnail for this video, as we're going to be putting that on the back of hoodies. And I'm not sure, and if I get your guys' input on this, should I go with this logo shrunken down on like the left chest or something with that other logo on the back? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. That's kind of what I'm thinking for a sweatshirt. Hoodies, it's soon wintertime, and I personally love a good hoodie. I also actually buy all of my merch. This is the premium shirt, guys. I like it. The biggest difference between the standard shirt and the premium shirt, the material on the premium is a little nicer. Not much, but it is a little nicer. The big thing I noticed, I'm a tall guy, and it's long. It's long enough that after a few washes, it still fits. It doesn't shrink up like some shirts do. I haven't had a ton of shrinking issues with the standard one either. It still fits fine, and I've washed it like 3-4 times. But just something to consider. If you're taller or if you're bigger, whatever, go with the premium shirt. If not, the standard one's fine. And the olive in the standard's my favorite color. You're at That's weird that you're at 68% at idle and it sounds like a V8. I'm going to get back to you. I'm not sure what I would do off the top of my head with that. I got to think about that one. Oh, Bob, thanks for following me on Instagram. Thanks for the subscribe, and thanks for checking out the shirts, brother. Really appreciate it. Again, injectors were installed less than 2,000 miles ago. Should I take it back shop for new ones? All right, thank you. Donald, so I would definitely take it back to them. If I had injectors with 2,000 miles on them, meaning you haven't even had enough time for oil to ruin them, I would be asking for some questions. I'd be wanting some diagnostic stuff done at that point. So yeah, if a shop did it, man, I would definitely go back to them. All right, guys. So I need a drink here. Cover the logo. God forbid you guys see a logo on here that's not mine. All right. An hour into this, and you guys have slowed down already. Greg, the easiest way to send me stuff is Instagram. Let me put the handle down here again, because there is another 6.0 Bros on Instagram. That's just like my YouTube channel. It's not me. The one with the H is me. In the private messages is the easiest way to send me stuff. If you need help, or if I do try to do these live streams. I do answer a lot of my stuff online, so don't worry about that. I do a decent job. I do bear with me if I'm a little slow, but I do try to answer you. I had one guy freak out in the comment section because after answering like 4 or 5 questions, I was like a day and a half behind continuing to answer. Oh my God, blue water. What could it be? Less exciting. It's just I feel a little dehydrated from running before this. So we got some magic sugar water, as my wrestling coach used. Expensive sugar water is what my wrestling coach used to call it. Hey, Grant, what's up, brother? Grant, guys, is one of our moderators in here. But then again, I do love, this has actually been really cool. This is one of the first times we've had, at the end of the last one, we had a few guys, and their names I recognize for coming in all the time. I made them mods. So there's like 4 or 5 of them I think I've made. None of them showed up till now, but just kind of wanting to involve you guys as much in the channel as I can. So I appreciate their support and help moving forward. And typically our comment section's pretty clean. Every now and then we get a guy or two that wants to, type goofy stuff, but for the most part, we're pretty good. Grant, you just came in here and I did not see the like count go up. We were at 23 before you got in. So Grant, come on. I need another like there. What I found at the end of my last live stream, guys, is if I harassed you guys about the likes, is you guys normally gave them to me. So that's what we're doing. I still need to test my fuel pressure. Get on it, man. Sorry, bumping my computer around. Yeah, fuel pressure, super important, guys. Making sure that your fuel pressure stays at 45 psi or above, and you want to test it while actually driving down the street. I like a good quarter-mile pull. Make sure that it stays in there. You probably only really need an eighth mile to tell, but well, Grant, thanks, man. I hope the move went smooth, man. Definitely moving is super stressful and time consuming. And you ever notice when you move, your internet service, they don't come out right away when you call them. John, AirDog, excellent product to recommend. I have not personally ran one. I'll probably run one on when I get around to it. I'll probably run an AirDog on this truck, just because. Why not? I'll probably run a fuel pressure sensor off of that so I can have a way of monitoring to make sure that that's working optimally and not, if it were to fail. I mean, on 6.7s, any of the common rail engines essentially, well, for Ford anyway, have two fuel pumps essentially. So you have a low pressure fuel pump, which does like 10 psi, to your high pressure fuel pump, which is what turns out like some crazy like 24,000 psi or something, some ridiculousness like that when it pushes it through the nozzles. Are you running an aftermarket intercooler? Yes, I am. I'm running a CSF 6028 intercooler, which is an excellent intercooler. I love it. Let me see if I can get you guys 6028, get you guys some links to stuff. Well, an up-to-date price. It looks like you can currently get them for about $480 on eBay, and that's with shipping. They're $550 all day long, $500. Yeah, so it looks like you can get them on eBay for about $450. Was considering the S&B. Does S&B make an intercooler for the 6-liter now, and I don't know it? Gotta look this up. I'm not aware of it. I'm not seeing it. I run their intake, though. I like their intake. Sorry, guys. When you guys say things I'm not super familiar with, I try to look them up so I can stay up to date on what you guys have going on. So on the S&B, so I mean, I run an S&B cold air intake on my 6-liter. So does Josh on his 6-liter. But they do not make a intercooler. I run a CSF 6028 intercooler. Now, that is their bigger one. It's a bar and plate style. It works really well. They do have a smaller one, which that one I can actually get you guys a affiliate link to. 6013. And this is basically more or less a factory replacement. Let's find you guys a good price. Hear what I'm seeing here, guys. I gotta talk about this. So there's a 7106 intercooler from CSF. It's the 6028 rebranded. Basically, a bunch of companies started carrying it, and then they wanted to jack the price up of them, I guess, because it was too cheap. They could make more money. So yeah, don't buy the 7106. Get the 6028 that you can get on eBay. It's a great intercooler. As far as value goes, so there's a few different ones. You can get a JSD intercooler, which I actually have contemplated getting to trial in Josh's truck. That's all aluminum. It's not necessarily an upgrade. It's ever so slightly thicker according to the specs on here. than the factory one, but it's not much thicker. The CSF 6013 is spec'd right at factory sizes with aluminum end tanks. That's $327 on Amazon. Why is my stuff not showing up? My affiliate stuff is not showing up on Amazon. So let's fix that. And that way I can actually get you guys a link. Sorry, let me get caught up here in the comment section. I will get you a link to an intercooler. If you're interested, man, drop down there. Let me know if you're even interested in it. If you're not, I won't do it. But if you are, I will definitely have that. Okay, we will talk, John, we'll talk about your turbo in a second. I want to talk about Donald here for a second. You just got off the shop with the rough idle. They said I may still have air in the system and not bad injectors. Do you have 2,000 miles on your on these injectors? Am I remembering that correctly? Please let me know that, because if you have around 2,000 miles on injectors, there's not air still in your high pressure oil system. So don't get me wrong, guys. I am not a mechanic. I'm not. But at 2,000 miles, your high pressure oil system is pushing. Like, if you were in the first 500 miles, and I think even 500 is kind of pushing it. But what I would be doing is I'd be talking to that shop and saying, when can I expect this to go away? Because I'm finding it hard to believe that I still have air in the system at 2,000 miles down the road. I would doubt that, especially when the condition mirrors that of failed spool valves. So I'm not talking bad about your shop. I'm just saying I think that sounds a little ridiculous that they think after 2,000 miles that you should still be having a rough idle. I've changed, I've picked out an injector here and there and changed it. And I can assure you, I have never been running rough for that period of time. I have also changed all my injectors before, and again, never had that issue. I went on the test drive when literally my engine was completely torn apart, put back together. I went on the test drive for that. There was literally no oil anywhere before that, and I assure you, my truck didn't run rough while cold. So I have a hard time believing that, and I'm sorry, I get a little worked up at that because I just feel like that sounds a lot like you're being taken advantage of, and that frustrates me, which is why it's part of why the channel started to teach people through my errors or learning and stuff like that. So I would be calling them and I'd be asking for a set time of when I can expect that to go, the air in the system to go away. In the meantime, what I would do is I would probably cram a bottle of arch oil in there and I'd find out if that helped. Because I have a hard time believing that's crazy to me. Anyway, moving on. That's Donald. That's my recommendation. Jerome brings up a good point. Could be a bad O-ring or something, but oil. Though I don't even know if a bad O-ring would cause that. It's too much like stiction, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, guys. Hey, like sometimes injectors get messed up. You get bad parts that is not preventable. It doesn't mean that the shop's not good. It doesn't mean that the brand injector they went with isn't good. It just means it could have been a faulty part. I'd also hook a scanner up and I'd see if you're getting any codes, contribution balance codes for your injectors, man. Cheap way to do that would be Torque Pro or Forescan on your phone with a cheap OBD2 sensor or a Bluetooth adapter. Turbo. Who was asking about the turbo? Is that John? John. Right? Okay. What's the best turbo? John, so what is your setup for your truck? Meaning fuel mods, are you running factory injectors or larger injectors? Do you tow with your truck? Are you lifted? If you're lifted with bigger tires, did you regear, anything like that? So I kind of need some of that information to help point you in the direction of what is the best turbo for your build. And while we wait for that, does anybody want to hear plans for the white truck, my 6.0? What I'm thinking for that? Mystery Blue Water. Well, while he's typing that, we'll talk about what I am thinking for the white truck on the channel. The original, we got some yes there. Pretty quick, strange one. Injectors, intercooler, piping, transmission all have been redone. John, when you say stage 1 injectors, do you know what specific size they are, or at least what manufacturer they are? I can look them up. No telling. Okay. If you can at least give me a manufacturer I can look up, because I mean, I'm going to guess that they're on the smaller side, and it sounds like full force diesel, honestly. If they're staging them, most guys don't stage their injectors anymore, but I believe full force diesel still kind of does. Trying to pull them up here. That's 7.3. They definitely stage their 7.3 injectors. The 6.0. Man, they're kind of expensive. I mean, I talked my dad into full force diesel for his truck for injectors. He's running 180 stock nozzle injectors in that thing. Well, that woke the truck up a little bit. So, well, we'll just go with on the idea that they're small injectors. So it sounds like you just kind of have everything redone. If you don't have plans to go large, well, that's the last question I have for you, John. Do you plan to go larger? Do you have any horsepower goals for your truck or anything like that that we need to kind of look into before I can recommend a turbo for you? So while he's giving us that answer, let's talk about the 6.0 Powerstroke that essentially is responsible for the size of the channel today. It's really what makes up the huge majority of content that this channel has made. So, those of you that know, the white truck has lost compression. I think it's cylinder 8. I want to say it's an 8. Pablo, we will get to that in a minute. The Banks intercooler system is nice, though. Oh, that felt good. So, I've been doing a lot of thinking with that, and I've pretty much been looking at engines for it. Basically having a new engine put in from Kill Devil Diesel is who I'll go to for that. I like their products. Now, I will say, if we haven't gotten it completely torn down yet, it is in the works, guys. Once it is torn down, provided we can roll out any top end performance or issues, if it's a cylinder head, we'll put another cylinder head on it, and we'll run it a little more, get to making content, which would probably be the ideal, is for that to happen, because then I could make some content, and the 6-liter stuff just does vastly better than my 6.7 stuff. I'm hoping at some point my 6.7 stuff does as well as the 6-liter stuff, and I think if I have the 6-liter back on the channel, you guys will be more inclined to watch some of the 6.7 stuff. But as I kind of push for that to happen, the goal is to be able to save up some money and actually I'd really like to do a stage 3. Okay, Banks. Now it makes a lot more sense. The goal is I'd really prefer to do a stage 3 build with, the whole 9. I want to upgrade rocker arms. I want at least a stage 2, maybe even a stage 3 cam. I want coated fly cut and D-lipped pistons, and I really, really, really want connecting rods. I cannot afford it. So I was doing a lot of thinking over this past week, and instead of drag out the process longer, my goal is to actually just be able to, I'll be essentially a stage 2 build. It'll have factory connecting rods. We'll still do a cam. Definitely, like I said, a stage 2 or a stage 3 still. Cam, and I need to talk to Jared at Kill Devil Diesel about that more before I can determine what cam I want. We're definitely doing fly cut and D-lipped pistons, and we're definitely doing coated pistons. The goal for this truck will really be to push at least 600 to 650-ish if we can. And the end goal for the 6-liter is actually 800 horsepower. So with factory connecting rods, 800 horsepower, you are way out of the efficiency range of what those factory rods can take. The only way that we could do that would be to run a big single turbo, which isn't going to make a ton of, as much torque down low, but it's going to make a lot of horsepower up top, which isn't going to be as hard on the connecting rods. So I have thought about that. But ideally, I'd like to run that engine for a couple years until I get all the content I can out of a 6 to 700 horsepower build. And then the goal would probably be to sell that engine out of the truck and get another engine, but actually get everything I want. Connecting rods, pistons, the aluminum ported heads would definitely be on that build. All of those things that currently I can't. High revving valve springs, because we're definitely, like, at that point we're gonna really, really turn that thing up. So that's kind of the area I've turned down what I plan to do initially with it for the next 1.5 to 2 years. Again, a lot of this will be determined by channel growth. If the channel were to lose subscribers tomorrow, if I were to start losing subscribers, it would definitely change what I do. But with how things are projecting, I think I'd be able to buy that engine, put it in, sell that engine in a bit, and still be able to then buy what I want to do more. At that point, the truck would be more of a really hot street truck and more of a kind of teetering on a race build at that point, while still not being an all drag truck, but something that would definitely run low 12s towards the end of its life. We ran a 13.6. I think it probably could have, if I was better at my part, it probably could have ran a 13.3, 13.4, I think. So we'll see what happens down the road. We're going to get into the 12s. I do know that when the truck comes back, we are getting into the 12s. I'm going to go race Truck Guy Joe again because I love that guy. But I finally beat his L5P, and now I need to go after his Cyclone that whoops me. That Cyclone's fast, so I need to go after that. Okay, so Banks intercooler system. The Banks intercooler itself, I love. The piping kit for it, I hate. But people that run it love it. Once it's installed, I've never heard people say a bad thing about it. It just seems to work. So it's a good kit. It is real expensive. But I will say this, if you factor in cost of, so we're at $500 for the intercooler itself. You get a nice set of intercooler piping. You have another like $400 or $500 in that. Depending on what you get, there's a set I can think of that's going to be like $700. You essentially have the cost of a Banks kit. I personally like my look better. I like the No Limit Fab hot side or cold side pipe and the MBRP hot side pipe with the CSF 6028 intercooler. But I mean, cost, they're the same, essentially the same cost. The Banks kit, you're just shelling it all out at once, but it's a great kit. And I've never heard a bad thing about it. Okay, here we go. Cannot find high pressure oil leak. The only thing leaking air was 2 injectors from Weepull, and it caused a hot nose start. Snap to connect spinning, guys. Mike, did you replace your standpipes and dummy plugs? That would be my next place I'd go looking for something to replace, man. Are you getting a hot nose? Are you getting a hot nose start? Or what's your symptoms? Still hot nose start. Okay, I see that. All the seals on injectors. Viper, we're going to talk more about that in just a second, so bear with me. But yes, a 500 horsepower goal, you can still have a reliable 6.0. Same issue when Fickham was failing. Yeah, so I would I'd go with what he's saying about the Fickham. I would check your Fickham out and go from there and see if that fixes your issue. If it does, then I would say also, well, at least I would look at oh crap. Hold on, it's gonna come to me. I'd look at your Fickham voltage. Again, we do talk about some of the I think one thing I need to do is in the description of videos, some of the go-to videos that I reference, I should put them down at the bottom so you guys can click on them. Also, I found out with my affiliates through Amazon, I can actually put together a store page. So I'm going to be doing that in the near future. I thought that was pretty sweet. That made me excited. Because I was hopeful I could do that, because then I'd be easy to say, hey, click on this link. There's a whole bunch of parts I recommend, and you guys could just, yeah. Anyway, the goal is for it to, I mean, it helps me, but the goal is for it to inevitably help you guys more. So here would be a fun topic: 500 horsepower 6.0, and is it reliable? Yes. In short, yeah, it can be. Excuse me. All right. So 500 horsepower goal. Yeah, things to consider. Oh yeah, man, those Banks tubes are freaking huge. So they're 3.5 inches. So they're a half-inch bigger in diameter, and the factory ones are 3-inch. I don't think the 3.5 inch is needed. It'd be kind of cool to actually compare my intercooler pipe setup to the Banks one side by side. I just do not have an extra $1,200 or so to buy them and try them out. But it would be really cool. Maybe down the road. That'd be a sweet giveaway. Try that, put them in, and then do a giveaway. Again, I don't have that kind of money. Robert, man, welcome to the live stream. No problem being late, brother. But since you are late, and I know you just got in, you're going to have to hit that like button. Get me up to 28 likes, brother. Now back to the 500 horsepower reliable 6.0. So in my opinion, if you have to stud a 6.0, Robert, thank you, I saw the like. If you have to stud a 6.0 Powerstroke, in my opinion, go with Kill Devil Diesel heads and never look back. Because you're, oh, that sparked us. We got another 2 on top of that. So we're at 30 likes now. So if you're 500 horsepower reliable 6.0, Kill Devil Diesel cylinder heads, in my opinion, are a must. I have a video out on why the factory cylinder heads on a 6.0 suck and what International did to save money. Ended up contributing to a really crappy reputation for the engine that I do not feel is completely deserved. So Kill Devil Diesel heads, and that's mainly around the valve seats. They do have some redesigns to the head a little bit to help beef up some areas so we don't get warpage in it. But they also have the O-rings. At 500 horsepower, I think you're fine to run standard ARP head studs. I don't think that's an issue. If you're in there, I will say things to consider would be new rocker arms. I've had an issue with this. I've broken a rocker arm. It's semi-common. I recommend getting a new set. If you're putting a cam in, I definitely just get a new set of rocker arms. If you can, upgrade, but they are expensive. So it's kind of hard to justify. Even if you go with like the cheapest set of upgrades, I think it's like a Harlem Sharp. I think they're still like $2,000, $2,500. Like they're expensive. Where at that point, I think like for $3,000, you can get the best Kill Devil Diesel sells this crazy setup, and you don't even have to remove your head stud if one breaks. Now he tells us about the heads. That's funny. So sniping, one thing, if you're taking your cylinder heads off, I personally recommend getting Kill Devil Diesel heads. I am not paid to say that. I don't get any money if you buy them. I have talked to Jared on numerous occasions. He's a really cool guy. You know, we do, you know, a couple times a year talk on the phone. It's like, just to be transparent, like I'd say we're friends, but I don't have any gain through recommending his products. I just believe in them. And I think the factory cylinder head flat out sucks. On top of it, if you buy from Ford, you're going to spend a lot more money getting Ford cylinder heads for a 6-liter than if you buy Kill Devil Diesel. And I personally think Kill Devil Diesel trumps the quality of the Ford cylinder heads. Plus, you get the O-ring there. So if you're doing it, even if you're just saying, "Hey, I got to stud it. I want a reliable truck," get rid of that cylinder head and put Kill Devil Diesel in there, in my opinion. Now, if you can't afford it, I would still spend the money and get the heads O-ringed and magnafluxed. I think that's how you pronounce that. Make sure that they're flat. They're going to need machined. You'll need to worry about valve recession to make sure as the valve is opening and closing, it's not hitting your piston, which would definitely suck. That'll cause a bad day. But just put in new stock head studs in the old mule. Pablo, sorry, brother. Here's the thing. You're going to get a long life out of that. It's just, in my opinion, the Kill Devil Diesel heads are just better. You should be fine. But, yeah, there's been mixed things about the cylinder heads. The factory ones are just prone to cracking. There's no pressed-in valve seats. They hardened the gray iron, which is what the head's made of, around the valve seat to give it wear characteristics, and that makes it prone to cracking, which happens to a fair amount of guys. But honestly, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of guys running factory heads with a lot of miles on them. So I don't mean to say you need to. I personally believe you should, though. Man, that's crazy. At 40,000 miles, and they were cracked. Wow. I'm shocked to hear. That's one of the lower miles I've heard about it from. Normally, it's like trucks like mine that 150, 180,000, 200,000 miles that they're seeing them. So Viper, assuming the stud job was done right, and you got ARP head studs in there. If you want 500 horsepower, I think that's fine. You could go with my affiliate and sponsor, TurboTime USA. I'd probably go to a 64 millimeter turbo with the 10-blade turbine wheel, which is all TurboTime USA sells. Again, use my coupon code and affiliate link down in the description. Get 5% off. For injectors, I'm personally really conservative with injectors. I like a bigger body and a small nozzle. 175 with stock nozzles is I think one of the most underrated injector sizes out there. You get great atomization of the fuel, which will result in lower exhaust temps and a cleaner burn, meaning less soot, better fuel economy. I could get, driving around town, if I was being conservative, I could get 17 miles per gallon around town in a crew cab short bed with like 34.4 inch tall tires. They were only like 11 and a half wide. You know, it was great. I loved it. And it was still fun to drive. It still really got up and drove great. So that I would say is a nice 500 horsepower build. Oh yeah, that's still one of my favorite injector sizes, man. And like I said, I think you'd really like that. I think a lot of people underestimate how much fun a 175 stock nozzle injector is. Those guys that say it doesn't push any more fuel don't know what they're talking about. It pushes more fuel than a stock injector. Now you do limit, I would say probably around 3,300 RPMs and up. It's not necessarily pulling a whole lot more fuel at that point because it is maxed out at that RPM. Like for as long as the injector can stay open, it just can't stay open long enough to dump more fuel. But honestly, that makes up a fraction of most people's driving time, and it's still running really good at that point. So, yeah, that would be my recommendation. Now, you'll consider a fuel system. I would go through your transmission. I would make sure that you pull out the fluid in there. I wouldn't flush it. Just drop your pan, put a new pan up with a new filter. Change both of your filters on your 6.0 transmission stuff. And I'd put a deep dish pan in to help give rigidity to the case and keep your transmission nice and healthy. Yeah, I've seen people recommend use it, like saying you can fix the cracks and stuff. I don't know. That just seems too redneck for me. I'm not saying you can't fix them and fix them well. I just personally would prefer a better product, and that's why I bought the Kill Devil diesel heads myself. Sniping, yeah. So the early 11s, it wasn't necessarily a bad cylinder head casting, as it was bad valve material. I believe what they found is that some of the valves in the early 6.7s, the ones that were made in 2010, I believe, were predominantly the ones that were issues. They didn't get. Oh, there's my dog in the background. Oh, that's right. You guys can't see her. Come here, Izzy. She's not having it. She does like to be down here with me. Sorry. Hi, puppy. So, yeah, no, the early 6.7s, it was a material issue in the valve causing them to break. People thought it was the glow plug breaking, but for the most part, it seems that it's pretty widely accepted that it was just the valve that gave the appearance of the glow plug breaking. But by 12, they seem to have that pretty much resolved. And by 13, I would say 13 is the first year of the 6.7 that really didn't have any major issues. You still have the upper oil pan issue of the 6.7, which that's kind of a big downer. But it's common, but it's not like ridiculously common. Like it's probably going to happen at some point. It does kind of suck. That's an expensive day. And I've done my lower oil pan. Sorry, my dog's very happy. Your breath stinks though, Izzy. You know it, pup. So yeah, the 13 is, I want to say, the first year they seem to have the turbo issues relatively resolved. They still went to the bigger style, which helped. Which in the brand new, the 2020, the official third gen of the 6.7, they went to a pretty small turbo, and I think they're going to fry that thing. The power that they're pulling out of that size turbo, and how much weight people are pulling with it, like it's just going to get fried, in my opinion. And it looks like it's really hard to modify and everything, so we'll see how that goes. Have you ever had any problems with SCT out of the box? I've never ran an X4 for the record, so I can't say I have. You're having you can't get through to customer service, so I'd send them an email. Yeah, I'd send them an email and just ask them. That's crap that you can't get through. Vehicle not supported. The other thing you could do is call whoever you bought it from. That's the other thing. You could just call them and let them know and try to have them deal with it. Tell them what you've attempted to do to resolve the issue without success. And I'd say it's on them to figure out. Yeah, Drone, let's bring up Kill Devil Diesel's website here. And let's look at prices of his cylinder heads for 6 liters. $2,300 for iron heads with O-rings fully assembled. That's what I'm running in the white truck now. But yeah, $3,000 for Ford factory versus Kill Devil Diesel. It's hard to beat that price. Which, well, it looks like the comments slowed down a little bit earlier or right now. So let's go back to talking about my 6-liter. So the plan is, you know what, Drew? Now that I think about it, he does put them on sale every now and then for $2,000. That's right. So I lost my train of thought completely. Oh, my white truck, my 6-liter. So the goal is to do a Kill Devil Diesel engine. Now, if I can get it on the road cheaply, I will. Like if it's a dumb problem, like a cylinder head, we'll put another cylinder head on it and we'll put it back on the street and we'll go from there. But if it's something major and it needs bottom end work, then yeah, we're just going with Kill Devil Diesel. Which, why don't I just actually go to his engines and see what we're looking at. See exactly what kind of build. I don't want to go through all that. I just want your engines. Complete engine packages. Here we go. He does have some cool stuff. So I'm considering a standard short block for quite a few reasons. One, because they're really affordable. So, I mean, his stage 2 with premium bleh. I can talk. His stage 2 with premium lifters is just under $4,000, which is a lot of money. And at that point, it's probably going to cost me another $2,000 to have my other stuff taken off of the engine that's currently in there and slapped on this one and then put back in the truck. But it's a completely blueprinted engine. Everything is completely perfectly balanced. We'd get our cam. We'd get premium lifter, so we're not going to have issues there. A 3-year unlimited mile warranty, so if I ever have bottom end issues again, I don't have to deal with it. I will say, while I already have my ARP head studs, I would probably turn around and do I'd probably do upgrade to the 625s, I think they are. ARP 625 head studs, because, well, we're going to up the ante a little more in the power department. Viper, first off, man, never apologize for asking a question, man. That's part of what we're here for. So ask away. You might be pushing it with oh wait, you're saying if you do injectors, turbo, and a fuel system, take care of your transmission and a tune. Yeah, dude, I think that's 500 horsepower with a mild turbo and injector upgrade is doable all day long. Definitely. Yeah, that won't be an issue at all, brother. Jerome, so the white 6-liter, why it hasn't really been on the channel is because it lost compression, and I really missed the white truck. Want it back on the channel because one, you guys tend to watch those videos a lot more than the 6.7 videos, and some of that's we haven't really done anything fun with the 6.7. It's really been me fixing everything that's wrong with it, but that is coming to an end. Because I almost, I still get a bounce. I almost have this darn truck fixed. And then we are going to start getting into some performance stuff. We are going to tune it at that point. I have exhaust manifolds to go on. Once the exhaust manifolds are on, at that point, we will really break into some testing because I'll know everything's sealed up nice. I also have the bottom intake plenum to I'm going to clean out. I'm going to do a video cleaning that disgusting thing out, which will really probably head up to the car wash and spray a bunch of degreaser on it and go to town. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm burping so much tonight. But so once that's all done, I'm kind of nervous to do the exhaust manifolds on a 6.7 because you got to tear a lot of stuff apart to get to them. It's not like you can just tear 1, 2, 3 things apart. You have to tear a ton of stuff apart to get to them. And there's a ton of stuff. There's a ton of bolts that tend to break. Basically, all your exhaust bolts like to break. So I'm kind of looking into how I can. One, I'll definitely heat all those bolts up before I take them off because I really don't want to deal with it. And then before, heat them up, spray them down will probably be my method. For that, I really want to get these BD exhaust manifolds on, and I really don't want to spend money to install it. But it's also the truck I drive daily, so I can't have it down. If I have it down, that means I can't get to work. If I can't get to work, I can't make this channel happen. So that's kind of my debacle. And again, I don't want to pay for it because it's probably like $800 in labor to go through all this. So I really kind of struggle with that. But we'll see. We'll see. It's got electrolytes. Yeah, the magic blue water, the mystery water I was drinking. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. And then we're going to really start kind of cranking into some performance stuff. Probably the coolest thing that's on the 6.7 is the BD throttle sensitivity switch, which actually, I don't know if I said this last time. I think I have a rough date on when, I have a rough date on when it'll be available for early year trucks. Let me just scroll through my email. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to get back to what we were talking about with my 6-liter and all that stuff. And here we go. Around Labor Day. So the throttle sensitivity booster for the 0304 6-liters around Labor Day is coming. Yeah, I got a lot of questions about that. That's probably the coolest thing on my 6.7 right now is that when I get the exhaust manifolds on, I'll think that's pretty cool because I'll probably be one of the first guys running BD exhaust manifolds on their 6.7. Pablo, what is between a long block and a short block? So a short block is the entire bottom engine. So basically your rocker boxes aren't in, your heads aren't on, any of that stuff isn't there. But you have, what do you have? Sorry. So like the whole bottom end's gone through, your cam, your crank is in, your connecting rods, your pistons, all that's in, your lifters and the hold downs for your lifters are in, and that's it. An oil pan, on the bottom and everything. So all that stuff is done. That's a short block. A long block will have your heads installed with your rocker arms and all that. But again, nothing else, but that's all considered. Those are the difference between short block and a long block. But I really wish I could afford to put connecting rods in this. I mean, the Assassin connecting rods are super affordable. I do have to say that. I mean, $17.50 for those connecting rods. That's pretty awesome. There's also the Kill Devil Diesel build in a box. I wish I had the ability to do, but I do not. So essentially, it looks like it's going to kind of be similar to their stage 1, but kind of a stage 2-ish. Yeah, I guess it's more of a stage 2. Which their stage 2. See, that's the thing. A stage 2. don't get me wrong, I still think it's not a terrible price, but their stage 2 engine is $9,400. That's just a lot of money. Whereas if my cylinder heads are good, I'll probably take them out to crap. What is that? UFC machining. If they're good, and I do get that engine, the goal would be to take the cylinder heads out to UFC machining, get them gone over, which they should be good because they are relatively new. Get them ported, reassembled, and then we'll take them back and put them on the short block is kind of my goal at this point. UFC or UCF machining has a great reputation for just high quality work. So that's what I would do is take my Kill Devil Diesel heads to them, then come back. I know I completely botched the pronunciation of Kill Devil Diesel there, but and then we can have some fun in the 6-liter, man. So not quite as wild of a build as I had planned for the 6-liter. But the goal, I mean, I think it'll be cool because it still allows us time to grow and do those things down the road. And that would be the plan, would be to keep pushing the envelope further until we can. I really like Kill Devil Diesel Products. To which I want to say, I have talked a lot about them. There are other builders out there. There's Asheville Engines or something like that. I'm looking them up now. They have a excellent reputation. Choate Engineering, another great company there. To which, you know, I do think they're a little cheaper. Asheville Engine's a little cheaper. I'm quick pulling up their stuff, or I should say I can get a studded engine a little cheaper through them. But yeah, you can get a studded engine through them. I don't know if that comes with a camshaft or not. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't know if that's part of them, but another good company to check out. Yeah, Jerome, I was just talking Choate. I think that's how that's pronounced. Engineering. Makes great stuff. He's a great builder. He's pretty well known on the forums. I don't know much about him. I know he's put out some good videos. He has some cool stuff. Those are really the 3 builders. If you're looking at 6-liter stuff or 6.4 stuff, those are the 3 builders to look at. I personally think Kill Devil Diesel is making next level products. I think he's making stuff a little more competitively. Don't get me wrong, the other guys are making great stuff and will hold up to a lot of abuse. But like the Jessel rocker arm set, you know, Kill Devil Diesel worked with those guys to make that happen. So I think he has more innovative products. You know, he's got steel piston kits for 6.4s now, which I think is a game changer. I believe he's got a 6-liter running steel piston kits. He was machining out a 6.4 block to a 7.0 liter diesel V8, which I think would be awesome to have. But I don't have 7-liter diesel kind of money. Let's see here what we got. Do you have any reason why I'm losing 100 miles every fill up? I put arch oil in every oil change, but could have a bad injector, no smoke. So you're getting roughly, there could be a lot of things. You could have a boost leak. You could have decreased fuel pressure. So the things I would start looking for is I would leak test your intake system. Make sure that you don't have any boost leaks going on. If you have a plastic side cold pipe, that could be leaking. If you had the intercooler could be leaking. That happens not as often, but does happen. It could be the boot right off your turbo to your hot side intercooler pipe is known for cracking, and you won't think it's an issue, but if you have like a little oil leak under there, then you might have that boot is probably bad at that point. So you might want to consider that. I'd also check your fuel pressure and ICP and IPR. Your FICM voltage is another one. There's a whole host of things that could be causing issues, but that's where I would really look at and start trying to find my issue. What are some good forms for 6.0? So I used to always, oh yeah, well, if you have the bank set up, that's definitely not an issue at all. Let me think here for a second. I'll get you this answer. I would definitely look at your FICM voltage, and your fuel pressure would be my next ones to really start ruling out issues. What are some good forms? So good forms, when I first got my 6-liter, is it 9 years ago? 9 years ago now. Powerstroke.org was where I spent a ton of time, and they still have some really good stuff. The 6-liter forum seems to have slowed down quite a bit. Now it seems a lot of guys are on Facebook pages like 6.0 Powerstroke enthusiasts. There's one 6.0 Powerstroke. I would just start looking up groups like that. I'm in probably 4 of them at the moment. I get in there and comment pretty regularly and try to stay up to date on stuff. Every now and then you run into an interesting event. The one problem I have, guys, is there's a lot of misinformation on there, and I find that incredibly frustrating for me when guys are just talking about stuff that they clearly know very little about. And that's what gets me going. Is that's actually what inspired the 6.0 Powerstroke Best Year video, was guys talking about the dowel pins on the later style being larger, and that makes them better. Well, the dowel pin is only to set the head on correctly until you torque it down. That's it. That's what the dowel pin serves. So guys were like, well, they're 20 millimeters instead of 18. That used to drive me insane. Especially considering all 6-liters have roughly the same overall reliability rate and the same level of fixability, meaning they can all be fixed equally. Guys, I don't know what group is still in here. There's live streams are cool because people come and go. And but one quick thing, if you haven't, please hit that like button. Also, guys, t-shirts are officially for sale. Link in the comments to the Amazon page that they're in. So check that out. I hope you guys enjoy them. Let me see here. So who wants to see the 6-liter run 12s at the track? That's really what I really want to do, is run 12s at the track. I also want to try FICM tuning on it. I am depending on how. Here's my other dilemma: is I'd like to do the tow build on Josh's truck. I would obviously want to continue. What are you doing, Izzy? She's making all weird noises back there. I'd like to do the tow build on Josh's truck as well. And it's just kind of trying to pick which way to go with the money. So one thing I was thinking about doing is, Jordan, I love it. 12s, brother. Jerome, I have never seen ELC run hotter than the Ford Gold. Personally, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. That has just not been my experience, though. Jordan, yeah, I want to run 12s. So what I'm thinking about with Josh's truck is I'm thinking, depending on how things go this month, I'm thinking about, and this is kind of just revenue based, that we might make the jump and get Josh a set of BD exhaust manifolds for his truck and put them on there, because his are rusted out pieces of crap. So I'm thinking about doing that for his truck, and I have a whole list of stuff I want to actually buy, from U-bolts to put his airbags on. We have the airbag kit up there. We just need U-bolts because we have to switch the blocks around on his. Then there's, hold on, there's one other thing here. It's going to come to me in a second. The U-bolts, I want to do a pressure gauge. He has a coolant leak we got to fix, which is part of his remote oil cooler setup. Just need to tighten a piece a little more. Delete the truck. What else is there? There's something else I wanted to do. Like I had a list of parts. I can't think of it right now. We already put the cool degas bottle in there. That thing is sweet. I do like that a lot. What else is there? We already have a Y pipe up there we're going to run. And if anything happens, that we'll get them a BD Y pipe. They're pretty awesome. Oh, the turbo. We're going to put the turbo in. And there was a gauge setup I was looking at. So there's a couple things I was looking at for Josh's truck as part of a tow build, which would eventually include intercooler. He's already got a nice little build on there. It's nothing crazy, but the 6-liter tows really well to begin with. So why necessarily mess with something that already works so well? But just to do a tow build for you guys, think you guys would enjoy that a lot. We really got to clean the frame up on that truck. That's kind of the big to do with there is that frame needs cleaned up bad. So fuel system for that, you know, just, I mean, there's stuff for that truck, but then I go back to that is money I could spend on getting my 6-liter back, which is a lot more fun than getting his 6-liter back. But I need to talk with him and see if he's into fixing those exhaust manifolds and putting the turbo on, because that turbo I definitely want to put on and do a review of and actually drive the turbo. I'm very excited about that turbo. And it's really not a lot of work. Not a lot of stuff has to actually come apart to put those things on there. So, guys, any other questions? What do you guys have going on? What do you want to hear or talk about? You guys really determine how this whole thing goes. Do you run oil catch can? I got the mission can kit installed. Absolutely love it. So, Robert, I definitely want to run a catch can. I want to run a catch can that a remote catch can with an air tube back because I wanted to pull that vacuum on the crankcase vent. And I think the idea of not having that vacuum is kind of dumb. It helps aid in pulling that away. Yes, I know to an extent it will push it out anyway. But I think that sucking action of pulling out is helpful. Oh, yeah, no, the Mishimoto kit. So I think the Mishimoto kit looks good, and I've heard really good things about their catch cam. Mishimoto, I've had some issues with and some frustrations. They did make the one right. Their degas bottle frustrates me. The thing leaks. I hate the fitment of the intercooler pipes that Josh has on his truck. They're Mishimoto. I don't know. I shouldn't say the fitment of both pipes. Just the hot side is terrible fitment. Absolutely terrible fitment. But the catch can, my friend Rippin 6.0, he also runs the catch can, and he loves it. I just think it's a clean setup. I'd like to eventually do one on my 6.7 actually as well, do a catch can. I'm excited to put an intake on the 6.7 actually. I really, really want to put an intake on my 6.7. I hear you can actually hear the turbo then when you do that. And when I do the full piping kit on the 6.7, one, I think it's going to look awesome. Two, I think it is going to really really wake up the sound that you get out of that truck when I do the full piping kit. Here's one second, guys. Gotta adjust in the chair here a little bit. So here is one thing I was looking at doing, and you guys let me know if this is something you're interested in. I was thinking about having a contest for you guys to essentially submit something for me to put on a t-shirt. Some, not necessarily a logo, maybe a saying or something like that. And basically whoever wins it, I would send I can't hang till 11, that's for sure. And then basically whoever won, I would send a free shirt out to. I was thinking about doing that. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm trying to come up with stuff to help you guys feel like you're a bigger part of the channel. It's Amia. What's up? What's up, man? He's another one of our moderators. He's been with the channel for a long time, and he's a cool dude. I actually got to meet him at an event I was at. And that is one of the big things for next year. I want to do more events to meet you guys, see you guys, let you guys see the truck. I'd like to tow the white truck to events next year with the black truck. So I think that would be cool. It's Amia. That's great that you can't hang till 11 because neither can I, because I have to work at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So what piping kit? So sniping, I've looked at SPE for a piping kit. I've looked at Absolute Performance for a piping kit. And I've also looked at a Pusher. So those are the three kits I'm looking at. I don't care entirely for the look of the Maryland Performance Diesel kit. It doesn't look bad. I just think the other ones look nicer, personally speaking. And I've actually heard mixed reviews about the Maryland Performance Diesel piping kit rubbing on the hood. So that's, I don't want to pay that kind of money and have my piping kit mess up my hood, or the powder coat on the piping kit get messed up, or the pipe get damaged. Because I got to tell you, that's an expensive pipe. Hopefully they have fixed this by now and it's no longer an issue. But even if they have, it's still not the kit. It's still not my favorite kit. I know they make really nice stuff. It's just not going to be what I purchase. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Getting somebody was messaging me on Instagram. I'll reply to that after the live feed. Yes, a 6.0 meet. That would be the goal, to get a bunch of you guys out, film all day, do some runs at the track. Preferably that's where I would go, is find some kind of track event. You know, and here's the thing is I'd love to do like the season opener at Rudy's. But the build I have for the white truck, my 6-liter, I just don't know that it's necessarily at that level to run with those trucks. Some of those trucks at those events are insane, and I'd love to one day have a truck that could compete in them. I just don't know that my 6-liter, when I get it back, the goal is to have it in the 600s by next year. I just don't know that 600 horsepower crew cab short bed that's lifted is the kind of truck that should be racing at an event like that. Rick, I'm in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. So northeast. So yeah, but I have contemplated going down to that event. I don't mind the drive down. It's not that, Myrtle Beach is further than that. But yeah, no, I'd like to definitely attend some diesel events next year and hang out and definitely run some passes. I know Truck Guy Joe and I were talking where there's an event at Cecil coming up I thought about going to. I don't know if it's just a run what you brung kind of thing. But I've been kind of against running my 6.7 at the track. I don't know that I like the idea of running it at the track, and maybe a pass or two, but definitely not more than that. And it's running fine right now, so we'll see. The 6-liter I like running at the track. The 6-liter is fun. The 6-liter is a monster. Sure, 6.7s can be monsters. You tune them up, you can make almost 600 horsepower with essentially all factory parts on a 15 and newer. So that's pretty amazing if you ask me. Anyone else in Pennsylvania on here? Just out of curiosity. I would like to start. The goal is at some point to start doing some kind of event. That is a big goal of mine. and I'd like to do some kind of charity event. If I could basically have something that, you know, like proceeds go to a fundraiser of some kind, or do something. I'd like to do some good with the channel. So that is something I considered doing, but I don't know. Initially, I think if I did do meets, it would literally just be meeting up somewhere and hanging out. I'd like to go to a Cars and Coffee sometime when they start doing those, when the whole world isn't afraid to talk to somebody within 15 feet of one another. .0 Empty Wallet Foundation. Yeah. Let me tell you, when the 6-liter comes back after that, after the next engine most likely goes in it, yeah, we're making a lot of videos with that sucker, because I'm going to have a lot of money I need to start trying to recoup, because that's going to be a painful financial day for me. Especially when you consider I've been through this once before with the 6-liter. I mean, I have some money in that truck, especially the engine. I have a fair amount of money, and that's upsetting that it's not on the road at the moment. That actually really drives me insane. So we'll see. We'll see. But, you know, hey, if you guys want to donate to me, have at it. But, well, guys, I mean, this is a little early. Normally, you guys really push me to the, where's Mike? Mike normally, where is Mike? Mike is the guy that always makes me go forever. Fort Worth, Texas. I actually have good friends in Texas. I can't remember where they're at, but I'm actually planning to try and go and see them early next year, before they move. They've been in Texas for a few years, and they do come up and see us, but I'd like to head out there sometime just to see Texas. Well, here's something I'm looking at. So one of the things we're going to actually mess with is we're going to mess with some water meth injection on the black truck. And I've actually even thought about this for Josh's truck. So anybody have any experience with water meth injection, or any questions about it? Or I'm still in the researching it phase. The exhaust manifolds need to happen before I mess with that. And I definitely want to get an air intake. I've heard reports that it can actually decrease decrease the frequency of regens, which I'd be a huge fan of. But, you know, I'm still trying to understand the controllers and at what boost is safe. Can you bring it in at lower boost? I don't want to only use it when I'm, you know, at 20 PSI of boost, because honestly, the truck doesn't see 20 PSI of boost that often. So I'd hate to only run water meth at that point, but I don't know if it's safe to bring it in earlier. There's progressive controllers on more expensive kits. So yeah, I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do with that, but I think I'd like to start with maybe one of their stage 1 kits that just has, you know, you pick a boost and it, you know, it hits you with the water meth injection at that point. I think for a tow rig, that would actually be pretty ideal, because typically when you're having your issues with your exhaust temps, although I'd like to see some fuel economy increases as well, you're typically in the throttle pretty good, and you normally got a fair amount of boost going, so you could bring it in at 20, and you're probably boosting higher than 20. Granted, just maintaining speed when you're already towing, you have a fair amount of boost going on too. But if you could bring it down to like maybe 15 PSI of boost to have that controller turn on, I think that would be pretty solid. Anyone have any questions or ideas about that? Also, if you haven't, hit the like button, guys. If you are just joining us, don't forget to hit that. That helps out. Trying to think. We covered a lot today, guys. Do you guys have any questions? I do better when I'm just answering your guys' questions. Also, if you're just joining us, link to merch down in the description on the Amazon store. Don't forget to check out the sponsor, TurboTime USA, and use the 5% discount code. Very excited about that 5% discount code for TurboTime USA and their products. I will say, looks like we might be getting towards the end. William, your truck got stolen? Like, really? That's like can you give more information than my truck got stolen? Like, what the heck? Like, how long ago are the cops finding it or anything, man? I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. I'm new here, but would like to know what size turbo are you running on your 6? Well, Rick, welcome to the family here. Great to have you. I would say, Rick, I don't recommend, not recommend. I don't recognize your name at the moment, so. There we go. Now we got some. I threatened to turn it off, and you guys correct that. Good. So anyway, I'm running one of TurboTime USA's older turbos. They don't make that style wheel anymore, and the goal is to have them basically. We've talked about this, having them get me set up with one of their newer style wheels in the 66 millimeter. But I'm running their 66 millimeter velocity port. It's currently the equivalent to their. Hold on, let me bring them up here. I can't remember if it's their GX7 or their GX11. It's their GX7 is the equivalent to what I am running. Oh, look at that. You get a free t-shirt right now with their orders in their GX7 and GX11 wheels. So it's a 7x7 dual plane wheel. And yeah, it's an awesome turbo, man. So they don't have it listed. It's a 66 millimeter in the inducer. I don't know what the exducer is of that turbo, but it's an excellent turbo. If you're looking at, like I said, man, check out the 5% discount code. I will say, if you're looking at a 66 millimeter turbo, some things to consider would be towing performance, because when you get out, like the 64 millimeter is a great towing turbo. It's personally my favorite towing turbo. That being said, I haven't run a 61 millimeter, but 64 is my preferred turbo. But if you go to a 66 millimeter, you're going to start having some lagging issues at that point. You're going to be under the efficiency zone a lot of times, unless you're running out of gear. So things to consider with turbos and towing. Now, for some people, that's not an issue, in which case I say rock on the 66 millimeter turbo is awesome. But just keep that in mind as you're picking some of these turbos. But again, affiliate link, discount code, 5% off. Check that out if you're looking at it. But I will say most people would be happier with their 64 millimeter turbo over their 66 millimeter. And the velocity port, I love. That's what I run, the velocity port turbo, and it just sounds amazing. It really is one of the coolest sounding turbos I've ever heard on a 6-liter. Drone, best brand for gauges. So I've run Glow Shift, which is definitely not the best brand for gauges, but they've worked really well for me. They have a 3-in-1 gauge that I think if you want to run like Torque Pro to monitor most of your stuff, I think this 3-in-1 gauge is perfect, because you can get boost pressure, you can get fuel pressure, and you can get exhaust temps out of it. And basically 3 things that you need to get external gauges for to keep an eye on, and then the rest of it, Torque Pro or Force Scan, and you'll be super happy with what you're monitoring with. And that gauge is less than $200. I think it's like $200 after you buy the stuff to be able to tee in for your boost and hook up to the factory 6-liter fuel pressure fuel test port on the fuel bowl. Best, I've ran Autometer. I've liked them. Isa Pro or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that would be the next one I would look at, those two. But I really like the digital monitoring solution, so I tend to run the Edge CTS2. Well, I don't tend to. I do run the Edge CTS2. I'm going to run the Edge CTS3 at some point. It's just not a priority to buy a second monitor when I only have one truck up and running. So the gauge that was in the 6-liter is now in the 6.7. What I will probably do in the future is I'll probably put the CTS2 back in the 6-liter and put the CTS3 in the white truck or black truck in the new truck. Excuse me. Easy steel is why no parts on the 6, only excursions had it. Man, dude, that sucks. I hope they find it, and I hope it's in good shape and nothing's wrong with it, man. I'm sorry that happened. That sucks. Yeah, Robert, I think, well, and that's, Robert, so that's why I always tell people, one, the Power Max is a good turbo. I had a great towing experience with it. It far exceeded my expectations. I always say if you want to upgrade your turbo, it is the best bang for the buck because you can pick it up for $11.50 from KC. It's $12.50. It's $12.50 at Turbo Time USA. I love Turbo Time USA, and I don't have a 5% discount code for that turbo. At least I don't think. I think it's just their custom turbos that the coupon code works. So I'd save $100 and buy KC if I was you guys. But when you get into their custom turbos, that's when I kind of think that's when my opinion changes. Jay, I see you there. You got an issue. Jay, retype that on here, and we'll talk about it entirely in here, and we'll get you figured out and see what we can do with what's going on. I will say it's definitely not a wastegate issue because the 6.0 does not have a wastegate. I'm pretty certain you have a 6-liter. If I remember right. Yep, that's 6-liter. Just double checking. Those of you guys who newly joining us, don't forget to hit that like button. I'm really pushing you guys for the like buttons today. Yeah, Jerome, I have had good luck with Glow Shift. They haven't steered me wrong. I definitely always recommend people check out their one gauge that has those 3-in-1 on there, because those are the three things. So if you get tuned, a lot of times your boost will read differently than what it actually is. It's part of how they tune them to get them to do what they want them to. The exhaust back pressure or exhaust pressure, your exhaust temp, they didn't have a sensor from factory, so that's in there. And then your boost pressure or fuel pressure is another thing. There's no sensor that's equipped with them, so that's how you can monitor that. And I gotta tell you, the fuel pressure thing will save your injectors. The exhaust temps will keep making sure that you're actually not beating the crap out of your truck. Okay, so Jay, what turbo are you running and how many miles are on it? Did you get a new turbo? I can't remember. I can't keep everybody straight. I try really hard to, though. Trying to see what all you map sensor. I'm not gonna. William the fact of. Yeah, they definitely should. I mean, it was stolen off their property, and I know they can't be held completely responsible for it, but it was in their care. I would imagine that they're held somewhat accountable for this. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm in left field on that. Jay, uh, check the. You're not getting any boost. Did your hold on, let me think here. So your turb, so you got a lot about. There's no wastegate on a 6 liter, so scratch that. I gotta see what all you put here, brother. What all you said. So, all right, guys, I'm just going to read this out. This is what Jay posted on my Instagram. So let's see what we can figure out for him. So he thinks his turbo went out. He replaced the map sensor. He's not getting any boost. It did it when I accelerated a little and sounded off with a backfire. So Jay, at idle, is it? I see no blowouts. I was trying to get all the air out of coolant system and have the truck warmed up. Okay, so when you start trying to go, Jay, does it you put it in drive, you start going, you're not getting any boost. Are you getting any like whistle sounds or something? I mean, the first thing I would do, not the first thing, because it could be any number of things. You could have, like, are you getting a tea kettle sound out of on the exhaust side? Any visible soot on your firewall that would suggest a rapid decrease? Viper, yeah. If you're looking at, I mean, if I remember, you were looking at like a reliable 500 horsepower. Yeah, I'd still recommend it. I'd also recommend you check out the 6.0 Powerstroke Best Year, because that kind of goes over the fact that they're all essentially the same in reliability, and all the major parts are the same. There's some changes, but not really as much as people make it out to be. So yeah, as long as you're studded, you have ARP studs in there, you should be good for the turbos we talked about. Check out the sponsor with the link down in the description. It is an affiliate link. I actually am obligated to say that, guys. I mean, I'd say it also morally, because I would feel bad not disclosing that, but there are other obligations with YouTube that I need to say that as well. But Jay, like when you're driving, like, are you like, yeah, I need to know if you're getting any weird sounds out of your turbo or exhaust system. Like, there, if your turbo is bad, there should be sounds of some point. You could also pull off your intake boot that feeds the turbo. So not your intercooler pipe, off your cold air intake or your air intake boot, and see if the wheel itself has is there any debris there? Like, if you would have damaged your turbo to the point of not getting boost, I would imagine the wheel would have broke. So before you drive it, pull the air inlet tube off your turbo and touch the wheel and see if. Be careful if it's hot. Don't burn yourself. But see if it still spins freely. Is there any in and out play? There'll always be some up and down and left to right play. There's not oil in there keeping the bearings where they need to be at that point. But the big thing is in and out. Or is it completely destroyed? That'll answer your question immediately. Because obviously, if it's destroyed, you'll see that it's all messed up. So if your compressor wheel blades are like if they look like they've been coming in contact with the housing. Yeah, Robert's right. From there, since you're saying that there was a sound, I want you to check the turbo itself to make sure that your compressor wheel still spins freely, you don't have excessive in and out play, and more importantly, that the shaft itself didn't break. See, Robert, the only thing with no, like he's saying no boost. So, Jay, are you still in here, man? uh, I want to make sure you're in here. I feel like he ran out to his truck immediately and started wrenching. I want you to, once you verify that the turbine wheel and stuff is in good shape, I want you to then, yeah, they supposedly have. Hey, William, take it easy, man. I hope they find that. I hope they find your truck, and I hope no damage is done and it's still in good shape, or at least no major damage is done because they probably obviously messed something up as they were stealing it. But I am sorry you're going through that, brother. Hopefully it gets resolved quickly and easily. Oh, excuse me. But guys, we need one more like to 40 likes. So if you're in here and you haven't hit that like button, hit it now so we can get 40 likes on a live stream. I don't know that I've ever had 40 likes on a live stream. Don't hold me to that statement I just made. 40. Woo! I feel the need to kind of check to see if the last one actually did pretty well. Nope, the last live stream was only at 30. Have a good one, William. Take care, brother. But back to Jay's issue. So he's saying no boost. So if he literally means it's reading 0, even if the VGTs were vanes were wide open, you should still build some boost. Maybe not a ton, but you should still build some boost. Trying to think from there for a second. Yeah, the sensor issue definitely. Okay, Jay. Let me see here. I got the message. Let me go through here. Okay, so this is good. I'm going to read this for everybody here. So both the truck gauge and his tuner gauge are not registering any boost. When he cranks it up, it doesn't have the sound the 6.0 makes where, it closes the vanes and has that cool whistle sound that everybody loves, myself included. The map sensor and map sensor hoses are new. He checked all the other hoses for any blowouts. The boost doesn't build at all. The plug on the turbo with 2 wires, which is to your VGT. Has oil on it, I think it says. So the oil that's in your intake hose isn't an issue, like that goes right into it. That's from your crankcase vent. There should be oil there. That doesn't concern me. Okay, so Jay, I'm assuming since you noted the oil in your intake tube there, that the turbo compressor itself is intact. Meaning it spins freely, the in and out plays good. Is that accurate? If you could just She Natural, thank you for number 40, brother. I appreciate it. She Natural, as soon as we talk a little bit with Jay about what he's got going on here, we will move on to your concern and work on that next, man. So let's see here. Where's Jay? Makes a little whistle, but not the loud 6.0 sound. It is the factory Garrett, but I had it rebuilt at 100. Has 172 on it. So Jay, But just to double check, Jay, like you actually like the wheel, like you can touch the wheel and it spins in there like it normally would. Like you can spin the wheel and it's not scraping along the housing or anything. The blades on the compressor wheel look to be intact. Is that correct? Uh, when you had this issue, the other thing is, did it sound like anything was getting kicked out your exhaust? Like any metal parts or anything? Did it sound like it was kicking stuff out there? Viper, while we're waiting for there, since yours is a pretty easy question, um, for fine, I can hear a little whistle. Jay, did it? Hold on here. You hear a little whistle from the exhaust. But like when you had the intake, like your air intake, the tube that feeds the turbo, that has your crankcase vent on it, when you pull that off, how's the compressor wheel of the turbo look? That's my current concern, is to make sure that that's intact and that it's not all messed up in there. Viper, let me pull up the turbo I would recommend for your build, and I'll send you a link here because you doing the GXR? I think you have the right one, but just to make sure. Six point. Yeah. So the one you listed is the correct one. So yeah, that is the right one. It's $15.99 on there. Again, if you use the coupon code, or if you just go right through my link, it'll actually it should automatically apply the discount code that you'll see at checkout. So when you go to the cart, you won't see it. When you go to checkout, you should see it, and it's for 5% off. So it gives you a nice little drop. I will say the velocity port I think is super cool. Jay, go send that video to me. I'm sorry, I kind of spaced out. Send that video to me, and we'll keep working through this. But yeah, that's an excellent turbo. I think that's a great all-around turbo for a 500 horsepower build. It's perfect. It'll spool really quick. Again, excuse me. It'll give you great top-end performance. You can still tow anything with it. You will need to update your tunes. But with larger injectors, you'll need to do that anyway. So I would, you can cram that in and run factory tuning. It just might have a little down low lag, but nothing too bad typically out of a turbo in that size range. While I'm waiting for Jay to send me this, we're going to kind of bop back and forth between Jay's concern and let's take a look at She Natural. He had a concern up here. At least I'm assuming She Natural is a dude, but She Natural, if you're a girl, can you let us know? That way I'm not calling you a guy the whole night. But I'm just assuming by yo man, which is how I would talk, that it's a guy. Yo man, I'm having a bit of trouble overheating on long pulls. After a decent pull, my oil temp and coolant temp shoot up. Then I let off and it starts to come back down. So first off, what is high? It's your girls. Okay. I was confused, brother, in my defense. But over the years of this channel, we've had there's one guy I'm friends with to this day. He was using his daughter's account for a while. 2 weeks ago, I think, was my last live stream. There's a guy on there using his wife's account, so it happens, man. But so my first question is, what are you saying shoot up? Like, if you can tell me what your oil and coolant temps were at the highest of this, once you got out of it, seems like they came back down pretty quick, so that's fine. But if you engine oil temp like 250, yeah, that's up there. So how long of a grade was it? And was it one of the grades that just said like how steep it was? And are you towing anything on this? And do you remember what your coolant temp was? New oil cooler. So if your coolant was in the low 40s, you're looking at like an 8-degree delta. So you're good there. That's not an issue. So oil cooler is doing its part. Were you towing anything? Towing a 3-car wedge. What's do you know like a rough weight on something like that? I'm not super familiar with it. Let's see here. Jay just posted a video. Okay. Chris, we'll get right with yours in a minute, brother. I'm quick. So Jay, I just saw that. It sounds like you're actually getting okay whistle out the exhaust. Um, So it sounds like you're getting a decent whistle out your exhaust side, even though you're not getting a lot of boost. Um, I wonder if you don't have a leak. Like, so you had some kind of bang. I'm gonna say, hold on, Jay? Are you running an aftermarket intercooler? I don't think it's your turbo. Your turbo actually sounds okay, at least from what you sent me. It sounds okay. So I think you may, I want to say intercooler. Like if you had something that sounded like a backfire of some sort, you had a very sudden release of pressure somewhere. From the video, it didn't sound terribly, like your truck actually sounded good, I thought, all in all, not terrible. Um, so sorry, I'm quick reading Chris's thing because it looked like it was an easy. Chris, I want to say it sounds like an injector issue. I would try Arch Oil. I'd also switch to if you want an upgraded oil. Schaefer's has a really good reputation. I'd switch to Schaefer's at your next oil change, or I would go with just Ford Motorcraft, and either one I would definitely use Arch Oil in there. But I want to say injector issue most likely. See your post at 9:31. 9:31. You're Yeah, Jeremy, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking intercooler, man. Um, it's a Mia. I have. Yeah, Jay, I don't think that's your issue. I think what it is I think you why you're not getting boost is because I think you have a massive air leak, either in the form of, I mean, there's times you get a hole in your intercooler. that when it gives out with those factory ones. So can you say, are you running a plastic cold side pipe, and are you running the factory intercooler? Because my bet is that's where we're going to find your issue. Your turbos seem to sound pretty good. I don't have a timestamp on mine. Let's see here. Intake side of turbo, but a little more on the intercooler side. That is one thing, Jay. The intercooler hoses are, like you said, they are super misleading. I actually don't even like. I mean, you can squeeze their sides and rub your hand along the back to see if it'll show you then. But typically, oh, look at that! I found timestamps. 9:31. It's a setting in your live feed thing. Jay, did you check your intercooler plastic? Oh yeah. Well done, it's a me. Yeah, it's a Mia at 9:31 is spot on. It could also. I have a friend. He used to have a dually, and his literally blew a hole like that in the at the bottom edge of it. It just blew a hole in it. So, oh yeah, if you see cracks, I mean, if they're still holding together, I don't think you'd see zero pressure. Josh had that issue, and he saw less pressure, but he still was able to build pressure. He just wasn't able to build max pressure. I gotta tell you, you not being able, no loose turbo parts, no metal parts, sound loose and exhaust, just a loud pop sound, a little black smoke came out. I'll check in the morning when I pull all that stuff off and look. So Jay, yeah, message me tomorrow. I'll be up early because I got to work. So, and actually, right now I'm just taking care of a single person, so it's not a super crazy day. So hopefully I can help a little bit. But Jay, I'm gonna hide that comment, brother. Uh, but that was funny. Basically, what he said, guys, is he cussed his truck out, and he's having a beer. She Natural. The best place is to hit me up on Instagram. That is the easiest way. I do check my email regularly. Here's my Instagram name down here, but it is just easy. It's very easy for me to be able to comment back and forth back on there. So that is probably the most effective way to get a hold of me is through Instagram in the messenger. I do try to comment on all my YouTube stuff, and my preference is for you guys to come to YouTube because that's the platform I try to grow the most. The problem with that is if you ever comment on a YouTube thing and you don't hear back from me, hit me up on Instagram. Unfortunately, YouTube isn't always great about me being about notifying me of every comment I get. So sometimes I find comments month later and I feel really crappy I didn't get back to them. So the goal is for you guys to talk to me on YouTube as much as possible. Again, because all that interaction YouTube views favorably. So I try to keep it here as much as I can. But if you guys need me and don't hear from me, hit me up on Instagram. That is really good at notifying me of messages. Yeah, so Jay, definitely the first thing to check, and the more I'm leaning away from this, would be to make sure, that like your compressor wheel and turbine wheel are intact. But with the way your truck sounded, I feel like they're safe. Um, I think you lost something on the intake side. I could be an intercooler, in which case I can get you links to intercoolers. Uh, and Sorry, just trying to keep up with Jay here. Oh yeah, Jay, I saw the video. Viper, I just want to make sure I'm caught up. I had a loud bang, thought it was a turbo hose, came off, but it wasn't, had no boost, had no idle. Cold side tube split on the back. Wow, I'm actually shocked to hear that, Chris. So yeah, Jay, to give you a starting reference of what you should be checking, all your intercooler boots, any plastic parts on your intake side, meaning your intercooler itself, or your if you have the plastic cold side pipe, that could be another thing. And you just hit me up and let me know what you need. I get you links to stuff to that if you need to look at things. I'll try to get you taken care of the best I can and steer you in the right direction. And Jay, I did look at the video. I don't unless that one was a different one. I don't think it was. I don't like that Instagram doesn't let me skip ahead to different parts. Yeah, no, you're good. I did see it. I did get that. I ask you about a 452. I don't even, so that transmission filter, Mike's Construction, that transmission filter should have a bypass valve. So when it's clogged, it'll just flow to the other filter in the transmission itself. But I don't know that I've ever heard really maintenance things. I think you should change it. So just get in there and get it changed out. The other thing, guys, I've been harping on this all night. If you haven't and you're in here, hit that like button. See how many likes we can get during this live feed. I think 41 is a record, though. But if you haven't already, hit that like button, guys. Jay, I want to make sure I got you squared away here before we move on to something else. I definitely want to work on getting Viper's next question in. Jay, do you feel like you have a starting point of what to look at? Do you feel like you have a kind of a direction you can go in to try to start resolving your problem tomorrow? I really think you're going to find it in one of the boots or in one of the like the intercooler or the cold side pipe there. Is my guess at the moment with what we have to go on. So that would be what I was checking. I feel like you're probably drinking a beer and checking on your truck now. So let me know if you want us to look in a little further. We can kind of kick some more ideas around here. She Natural, did you get that on my Instagram? I just want to make sure I got you. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Hit me up on there. Viper, what tuner would you recommend? And should I get a different intercooler? I feel like I missed a Banks question on here. Didn't somebody ask about Banks at some point? About their, I don't have a time for it for their diff cover. I do think it's cool. I do think he trashed a lot of people in talking and making that product that didn't deserve to be trashed. And I think he really over exaggerated some of the things in there. But I do think he made a sweet product that's better than anything else on the market. Looks pretty cool too. I'll probably end up running MagTech on the 6.7 personally. All right, good deal, man. Okay, so what tuner? So I did a video on this too, Viper. SCT is my recommendation. If you go to that video, you can get links to stuff. That being said, I think Gearhead, if you buy the tuner and one of their tuning packages from them, I do think you can get unlimited revisions even if you upgrade. I know most companies, if you buy the performance part that you're upgrading on your truck from them, they will give you a tune revision for free. If you buy through one of my affiliate links on the best tuner for your 6.0 Powerstroke video, I get a little bit of reimbursement for that. It doesn't cost you any extra money, but the affiliate link does come back and help the channel. So something to consider. And I think I missed. So Viper, here's one thing. I am a fan of getting rid of that factory intercooler setup. I actually also like my intercooler pipe setups. I was thinking about doing a video on this as well. I don't know if it comes through. I really just think about videos all the time, and I should get better about writing some of these down because there are stuff I want to do, or is stuff I want to do. But yeah, the bank setup is sweet. I should probably go back to my intercooler video and add some of these affiliate links in there, but the bank setup is pretty awesome. That would be a good one to check out. And trying to think here. I run the CSF 6028. It's bigger than factory. It's a great intercooler. Factory intercooler. Jay, then I'm going to say, since you just upgraded your tubes, I imagine they came with boots and new clamps. I'm going to say you're looking at a, assuming that, I mean, that doesn't sound quite like how you described, assuming off your turf, like that all your boots are still connected to where they're supposed to be. Yeah, I'd still make sure all of those connections are tight. Jay, are you getting back pressure on your monitor? I know you're not getting boost, but like, what's your back pressure reading? Viper, as for intercooler stuff, so like I like the piping kits. I run a no limit fab, cold side pipe. It's probably my favorite. SoCal Billet has essentially the same thing, but it's a little different. It's a one piece, and I think you can get like three bungs welded in there for various things, whether that be boost or injectables of any kind. You know, if you want to spray some nitrous, don't do that unless you're set up. You have to have a setup for nitrous. You need essentially a blow off valve, a wastegate. That's what I'm trying to say, a wastegate for them. So Robert is on point. I don't know if you guys know that Robert is on point for, you know, like I'll be thinking something or I'll be getting ready to say it, and he half the time beats me to it. And I was just talking about the same thing. You're not going to do nitrous. But water meth would be something you could consider with that. I'm not running any of that stuff right now. I have thought about water meth in the truck. Obviously, probably do that. Excuse me. Probably run water meth on the black truck. Yeah, Jay, I just double check and make sure that what came off wasn't one of those tubes blowing off of there. And it might look like it's on, but it's not quite on, you know, right now. So how I do it is I give a good tug on each one. You know, like, so I'll grab right before the connection. I just pull on it, not super hard, but I give it a good tug to make sure everything's connected still, and just do that on all of them. And then again, I would check your intercooler really well. If you pull back, like the top piece, if you pull back, you should be able to see if the gasket on there came apart. if you can, I'd probably rig up some kind of probably rig something up to do a pressure test of your intake side of things. You know, if you were to test it right after, like if you were to be able to plug into like right before the turbo or right after the turbo, excuse me, on that tube. Balls deep on the truck. Get in there, brother. Hey, Sean, how the heck have you been, man? Sean, a longtime subscriber, man. You know, Sean, I've missed you. I haven't seen you comment first in a while, and I'm not gonna lie. I thought you left the channel, man. I'm glad to see you in here. It makes me very happy that you're still with us, brother. Good to see you. That is one thing, guys. I really do value all the subscribers, and I try my best to get to know you guys and give to you guys like you give to me with you know, the views and everything. So I hope you guys see that I do that I do really try to take a personal interest with all the support you guys show me. Sean, I understand that, man. It's been there's been times my upload schedule has not been what I wanted due to life. The last year, it's been a hard year for uploads this past year, brother. But Viper, so pros and cons of need to make a 6.0 calendar. So that's actually Robert, we're going to talk about that because I was actually looking at that. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Besides the shirts, through the print on demand services, Sean, if you haven't already, if you can hit that like button, brother. I'm trying to get everybody to hit the like button that comes in here. Viper, what I like about the aftermarket pipes, if that's what you're talking about, wondering about the pros and cons of that, I think really just what happens is you get a fresh set of boots and clamps in there. I definitely recommend going with high quality parts. That's why I recommend MBRP and No Limit Fab, because they have nice stuff. SoCal Billet as well, also, like I said earlier. They're not cheap, but you're getting high quality stuff. The CSF 6028 intercooler is my go-to. That being said, when you put the value of all the parts I listed, it really does put into hey, it's me. Have a good one, brother. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Appreciate your support. So when you put all those parts together price wise, you're very close to the cost of a Banks kit. And Banks has a very nice setup. A lot of people go with them. They're very happy. If you want, hit me up on Instagram. I can get you links to most of the stuff we're talking about here. And that way, you know, you're getting the right thing. The water meth injection kit. So water meth injection, one of the primary goals of it is to cool down. Robert, I will try to find. I hope they didn't discontinue it. I love the MBRP hot side pipe. It is my absolute favorite. We're gonna find it. There's no way they discontinued that. That'd be awful if they did. It is literally my favorite. So while I'm looking up that, I'm going to quick talk about water meth, but I'm going to try to find you that pipe. Sorry, I don't know why it feels terrible. Super unprofessional too, as I'm on here talking about this stuff. So anyway, water meth. The biggest reason to take it is to cool down your charge air to help with to help bring down exhaust temps. So it'll bring down exhaust temps. It'll also turn around and help you with bringing a cooler, denser air in. So, and by the byproduct of that is obviously a cooler exhaust temperature. Now, when you're typically spraying water meth, though you have methanol in there, which is also a secondary fuel for your truck. So on top of the cooler effect that you're getting, you're also then getting a man, I think he's right. I think they got rid of the MBRP hot side pipe. I feel like a goofball now. I preach about that stuff all the time about how much I like it. So you're also getting a secondary fuel in there. I'm not done looking, Robert, because I'm going to try to find it if it's still around. So you get a secondary fuel that happens to, and there's a video out on this talking about it, that of a gentleman from Snow Performance that knows far more about it than I do. But it doesn't change your ignition portion with the diesels dramatically. I know some guys are under the idea that you don't want cold air in a diesel. That's not how it works. And you don't want excessively cold air. But making sure that your air charge is cool enough to go in is just fine. And the secondary fuel will. Hey, Sean, thanks for stopping in, man. I'm glad to know that. Seriously, I mean, I'm glad to know you're still with the channel, brother. You take care, and I know you're working hard, but take care out there, brother. Be safe, and we'll catch up later, man. So what do you need to run water meth injection in your truck? So I do not recommend trying to piece one of these kits together yourself. I recommend buying a kit. I'm looking heavily at Snow Performance. Banks has a kit. I haven't gotten really much into looking at them, but at some point I will. I'm still taken back by oh, wait. We're on to something here. There's a section for intercooler pipes. 6.0. Found it. Oh yeah, I'm good. Let me see if I can get a product number here so you have more options of buying than just one place. Doom, welcome in, brother. Good to have you here. So yeah, I recommend buying one of the kits and not trying to piece it together. I know some guys piece them together. I think there's good kits out there at relatively reasonable prices for what you're getting. So I would look into that. I do plan to do more videos than just this loose talking about it, because I do really want to try it. I'm actually going to take a part off the 6.7 to have it drilled and tapped to exclusively run water meth injection to it. So I'm super excited for that. Snow Performance and Banks are the two kits I know of. Doom, if you haven't, I'm harassing everybody about hitting that like button. So if you haven't already, smash that now, please. And this MBRP, Robert, I better be your favorite YouTuber for this. Finding parts that you thought were done. I do really, I hope you know I'm just messing with you. But this is actually, I really do mean it when I say this is my favorite intercooler pipe for the hot side that I have found on the market. So let's see if I can find it. Or get you squared away, man. Yep, Jay, let me know how I can help, brother, in the morning. Happy to keep walking you through whatever like button hit. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. So, Doom, what we're currently working on is our buddy Robert in here did not think he could find the MBRP hot side pipe anymore for the 6.0, and we're taking care of that now because I found it. I just want to check. I'm trying to just find it from a place I've actually bought stuff from before, as opposed to just giving this one. I mean, it seems legit, so I don't want to say it's not. And of course, Extreme Diesel just has Dorman, AFE. Oh, they have BD Power at least, and Mishimoto. And I really don't like the Mishimoto pipes at all. Not one bit. The AFE ones look fine. The BD Diesel I like as a company. The Dorman one, no, I would not put Dorman on. That's the cold side. The Ford one I would, although the Extreme Diesel you can get much cheaper on eBay. You can get it for like 150 on eBay for the cold side pipe. So let's see here. I'm going to check one more place for this, and then I think I'm going to send you at least the one I found. I definitely found it at least one place. Hey, guys, 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I heard some yelling, and it's just my sister. It did scare me, though. Anyway, now that my heart rate is up, all right, one more look here. Because I'm pretty certain. Oh yeah, I can find it here. That one kind of looks like a 6.7 pipe. I wonder if MBRP makes 6.7 stuff. Come back here. I like to keep checking to make sure I'm not missing anything while I'm doing this. Doom, I'm running ELC from CAT. It's the EC1 rated. Yeah. Will you guys let me know if anything starts coming through that door? So Doom, I gotta say, so my only complaint with the Ford Gold is it's maintenance heavy. Like every 30,000 miles, you should be changing Ford Gold out, and that kind of sucks. So I like the go with an EC1 rated coolant, and you should be good to go. There are guys that swear by Ford Gold. I just hate that every 30,000 miles you got to change coolant out. I think that's dumb. Or they say, test it and you shouldn't have issues. I would change it out. Jay, I would check your VGT percentage. You should be able to do that with your tuner, and that should tell you if you're seeing commands super high or super low while driving. Although again, I really feel you're going to find a leak on the intercooler because you should, even if they're wide open, you should still be building boost. I'm going to assume they're going to be shut on you. What was I doing? Chris, welcome in, brother. I think intermission. That's funny. Jeremy, so I've heard fitment issues with the Mishimoto intercooler. I will say It's a big intercooler that you're cramming in a little space. So when you're pushing stuff to that point, there's going to be some potential stuff you might need to move. I know with my CSF one, I needed to kind of pull the transmission cooler forward a little bit for that to fit. That being said, I don't think it's worth the price of the intercooler. I think it's overpriced considering there's banks that for roughly the same price, you're getting their whole intercooler setup with the boots and stuff and the different tubes. I'd be more inclined to go that route than the Mishimoto one. I have heard people say, as far as like not counting fitment or anything else, that it does cool well. I know guys with Cummins that have absolutely hated it because they had to. It's not just that it was a tight fit; like they had to modify stuff to make some of them work. Again, you're cramming a big intercooler into those spaces. The CSF one, I really like. Here's one nobody ever talks about, and it is expensive. BD Diesel. I've been intrigued by their intercooler for a long time. I'm not shelling out $1,100 for the intercooler when I have the CSF 6028. That is killer. But yeah, no, it is there. It's big, and I hear it works well. I just don't know that I would spend the money on just the intercooler at that price. Like you can find the Banks, just the Banks intercooler for like $850, and you can run factory pipes or aftermarket pipes, whatever you want with it. I'd be more inclined to do that personally than spend that money on theirs. Okay, so here's my pup back. Oh, is this one cheaper? Is this the right one? No, that's for a 6.4. I'm still looking for your pipe, man. I feel confident I can find you a pipe. Oh yeah, that's for a 6.4. That ain't it. I did find it though. I want the record to state I did find it. Doom, I was pretty excited when I needed mine. You're a good puppy. Got my dog down here. Oh, Robert, I found it already, man. there's there's no shocked about it. I have already found it. I'm just trying to see if I can find a better deal on it. That's the cold side pipe. It used to be on Amazon. Which I found the cold side pipe on Amazon, but I cannot find the other side. So one more search on here. Because that is one thing. It is just it's just a nice kit. Like I don't care for the MBRP up pipes. I think BD Diesel has that market cornered for 6 liters, but I do really like their cold side pipe. So it's kind of annoying that I can't find it at all. But I'm almost done searching here, guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be off the chat. But I am trying to find this for him. So all right, I'm gonna have to throw that talent. I might keep looking, but here is There is the MBRP hot side pipe, brother. I do love the No Limit Fab intake. It is huge. It's absolutely huge. I wonder if this is a part number on this website. Try that. There was a way I found it on Amazon. I just can't remember how the heck I found it on Amazon, but I did at one point find it on here. Yeah, not anymore. Can't find it on Amazon. That's what I was hoping to send you. But oh well. But I did find it. Let's see. Man, I feel like I missed a little bit here. Doom. So my plan is to definitely do more of these live streams. I know, we're actually I'm going to be closing this one out soon, and I do like that. I feel here's my one fear with doing too many is I'm worried that people won't enjoy them as much. So, but I'm going to start doing definitely a monthly live stream, and I'm going to start trying to. Did you guys get the notification that this was happening? I think it was Wednesday I scheduled this. Tuesday or Wednesday I scheduled it. I don't know if you guys got the notification. The goal was to try to notify people that this was going to happen. So you guys had some time to join in. That was kind of the goal. Doom, I will say this, man. You can get that. You can get the Banks intercooler. You can find it on eBay for like $850, just the intercooler that somebody gets mocked up to be able to run factory sized pipes. I would highly recommend looking at the CSF 6028. It's a great intercooler, and I think you'd like it. And I would be shocked if there's much of a difference between that and the Banks, personally. Okay, so it was working that you guys were getting notified for it. That was my goal. And I thought 7 was a decent time, people finishing dinner, kind of getting out to do, chill for the night. I thought it would be a good time to do it. But yeah, so yeah, let me see. Doom, are you looking for? Let me ask this because it'll depend what link I send you. Are you looking for like an upgrade in the sense of you want better? Just you're looking for the aluminum end caps and you're fine with the factory size, or are you looking for a physically bigger intercooler? Because one I'm going to send you from eBay, the other I'm going to send you from Amazon, depending on what you say. And again, it's just kind of trying to be super helpful, really. Start looking this up for you, actually, a while. You there, brother? I'm just looking for what you're looking for in an intercooler. Like, are you looking for something that's thicker than factory? To which anything that's thicker than factory, you're going to have to kind of tug on your transmission cooler just a little bit, not too much. I did it and it wasn't a big deal. Or you can upgrade to basically a stock sized one, but you'll get the added benefit of having the aluminum end tanks. Man, sometimes I forget all the stuff that's on the affiliate setup for like intercoolers. Like, I don't know that I have any of these listed as stuff to be looking at. Okay. I'm not familiar with the 6024 intercooler. I know the 6028. There's a 6013, which is a factory size intercooler. I'm just going to get you both links that I can find. I can't find the 6028. Unless if I said 6024, that's a my bad for the record. So this one here, first off, that is an affiliate link I just sent. Now that is the factory sized one and has aluminum end tanks. Now let me, the 6028, I can only find on eBay. There's the quote unquote heavy duty one that they sell. Well, it's damaged. Why the heck would I send that? Some of these freaking companies drive me insane. So the 6028 is physically larger. But there's like a 71 or something like that. Don't buy that one. It's the 6028 rebranded, and that's it. Sorry, trying to find you the best price on the intercooler. What is this one? That's a 6013. Don't want that. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to be off the live chat here and ignoring you guys. I just want to quick help find this one. This looks like a yeah, it looks like that will be the best price right now. Okay. Won't let me send. So on it won't let me send the eBay link because it's way too big. So on eBay, what's the 6009? I haven't seen that one. CSF 6009 on Amazon. Oh, for the six, Robert, is when you say 6024, do you mean 6028? On Rock Auto? What fuel mileage should a 6.0 get? 14 miles in town, 16 on the interstate, Edgemeyers. James, it's a loaded question. It really depends on what all is done and how you're driving. If you're really Yeah, for 30 bucks, I feel like I should just buy one. I got is the 6009 a 6-liter one though? Like I've never looked that one up at all. It looks like it might fit. It looks like a Cummins though, but it looks metal. I don't know what to think of this thing. What are people putting it in? That's for a Dodge. Man, that's still cheap. Fits nice. Other than that, it's worth so far a great price compared to the ones that are 450 plus. Yeah, so apparently that's for a Dodge. It does kind of look like it would fit though, but apparently it's not very thick at all. Down low it says something about it only being like an inch and a quarter, inch and a half. Yeah, James, I would check out just to kind of get an idea of what to do. Look at a video I made talking about first thing to do with your 6.0 Powerstroke, and that should kind of help point you um, in the right direction of what to be looking for. Man, 240 bucks is cheap. Just keep an eye on what shipping is. Sometimes I've had issues with Rock Auto and shipping. Like my wheel bearings were expensive to ship for the black truck. Um, but I think that's like $100 cheaper than the link I sent, man. Let me double check here. Yeah, it's a good bit cheaper. So, guys, I think I'm gonna shut this down for the night. Quick make a pass here. I've got the same look on my face. That's funny. Um, guys, first, if you haven't, hit that like button. I know we're dwindling down. The next thing, I want to keep repeating this. Shirts are for sale. Premium shirts, guys. If you're taller and bigger like me, premium shirt will definitely work well. The standard ones are still nice. They don't seem to shrink up too much. So links in the description for those things. If you guys are looking for turbos, hit up my turbo sponsor, Turbo Time USA. Use the discount code and affiliate link. Get you 5% off. Guys, I'm definitely planning on doing more of these, at least monthly. And depending on the response that we get, I get my cat coolant right from Cat. There's a cat dealer by Greg's Diesel and Automotive. I get my coolant there right from him. So I'd look for your local cat dealer. Is it Tractor Supply? I think is where Josh gets his from. I think Tractor Supply sometimes has it too. But guys, depending on I do have an Instagram page, man. Put it right down here. Also, I believe on my channel page, I think there's like a little icon on the banner across the top for Instagram and the Facebook page that are associated with the channel. But depending on the response to these, and as I start doing a monthly, and I'm going to start trying to schedule them a little bit better than I was, and we will go from there. That's the goal. Depending on the response will depend on how we proceed. I might try to do another one of these in 2 weeks. We'll see. You guys will have to let me know if you want to see this in 2 weeks again. I don't want to try to give you too much of the same thing that you guys lose interest in it. So that's very important to me. Let me know, guys. Do you, the 13 people, 11 people that are here, do you want to see this? Do you want me to do another live stream in 2 weeks, or do you want to see one in about a month? That is really what it comes down to. So you guys let me know, and we'll go from there. Until then, guys, thank you for all the support. These are always a ton of fun to do. They keep getting longer and longer because they're fun to do. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Drop your comments below. Do you want to see me do this again in 2 weeks? Ryan, rock on. 2 weeks. Everybody, don't forget to hit that like button, guys. We'll give this another couple minutes. We'll wait to see if anybody has any questions while I'm waiting for people to throw out there the 2 week mark. All right. Then I can't guarantee 2 weeks yet, but I'm going to shoot for in 2 weeks to do another live stream. Then we got enough people saying 2 weeks. I'm going to shoot for 2 weeks to do another live stream, guys, on a Friday night. Total recall. That'll be the goal. And I'm going to try to start, I know we always kind of start with a theme of what we're going to do, and we kind of go off our tangents, and I love it that way. There is, I just found out about a program I can get on through Amazon, my affiliates there, and actually have like my own little page of things to kind of recommend. One second, let me bring up Instagram, and I'll get you guys I'll get you a link to it. But basically, for a lot of the stuff we talk about and recommend and all these random different things we have going on, being able to just send you to the store page as opposed to telling you to look up a million different things, and try to just have it a little more prepared for you guys. So let me copy this. And here you go, man. There's the Instagram page. And my pup is telling me to go too, right, Izzy? So, guys, thank you so much again for all your support. If you guys haven't already hit that subscribe button, I'll see you guys. She's running off. And I'll see you guys in the next upload. 2 weeks we're shooting for. Another live stream, guys. Spread the word. I think at one point we had 29 or 30 was the highest. The goal is to keep growing the live stream so they keep getting bigger and more out of control as we go, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Take care, guys. If I can figure out how to close it.